What's up, people? 3HL Ron.
Good afternoon from the Superbook.com sports desk. I am Joe Hunk. Tennessee Vols athletic director Danny White just laid out his path for a championship, not just for one of the different football and as well as other sports teams on the UT campus and part of the athletic department, but all 20. He would like for every one of them to come up with a strategic plan for an NCAA championship as well as a strategic plan for the SEC championship. He says that his primary goal is for Tennessee to win a national championship in at least one sport every 4 years. When it comes to the MLB draft that's going to be happening next week, there are 3 Tennessee Vols that are in the first round projections wise, as well as one Vanderbilt Commodore. That would be Spencer Jones. When it comes to Tennessee, Jordan Beck, Drew Gilbert, and Blade Tidwell are all projected to go in the first round. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, and home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome on in to 3HL, baby! Yes.
That doesn't get you going for a Thursday.
Yes, it's only one way to get going, Babsy. That's to welcome these people in.
I needed that.
You needed that?
I needed that.
That's Don Davenport then.
Hey!
Hey, I'm in the build. Best believe
Oh.
I'm in the build.
Oh!
I like it.
Oh, now I get this intro?
I like it. I like it. I like
It's all
it.
part of the plan.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Did Hunk do this on purpose?
I like it, though.
He's acting like it's on purpose.
I like it. You just got to introduce me, Babs.
It was genuinely on purpose for Slay because I knew that you needed to get hyped up just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
That's Joe Hunk behind the glass, good people. And who am I,
right.
Babsy?
That's Ron Slay.
And I don't give a damn.
Oh, you lied. You get.
This kind got no room.
I'm playing around here to see what you guys are feeling.
No room.
I like that one. Although Rocky Top is asking for more money.
That's why it's good old Rocky Top. That's
Inflation,
right.
man.
Yeah, it's serious.
That'll get you.
Everybody's involved in it. But
That'll
listen,
get
man,
you when you're building a new stadium.
I don't give a damn about the reputation either, though. So I need some of that too.
Oh, you need that. Damn, that gets you going.
Now we're ready.
Now we're
Now
ready.
welcome into 3HL, ladies and gentlemen. Thirsty Thursday.
That's right. Kyle.
Felt like Friday.
Okay, well, it feels like this is the longest week ever. Does it for you guys?
Tuesday.
Maybe it's because I got so much chaos at home going on, but does it?
Chaos doesn't help, Babsy.
We didn't even work Monday.
So did. Well, some of us didn't. I did. I was working with Casamigos.
Yeah.
I was on that train and I couldn't get off.
You were drink working. Yeah.
I was drorking.
Whoa.
Drunken.
Okay. Jorkin. Drinking, working.
There we go. It's good Thursday.
Hey, I have a question for you. So
What up, Babsy?
we're a full transparency show,
Without
right?
question.
Like we're, you know,
We wear it on our sleeves.
we'll tell you exactly what's going on in our lives. So I was running late today
Oh.
because I couldn't shower until later because I waited to shower, did all my errands, did all that,
Mhm.
and then it started storming, like lightning, whole house shaking, thunder, storming, scary.
Getting down.
Yeah. So I couldn't get in the shower because it was lightning out. And I told you that, and you were like, what?
Yeah,
That's
that's
dumb.
yeah. That is, to me, that's a little wild, Babs, because I mean, it's raining outside, you get in the shower, it's raining inside. What's the difference?
Because lightning can travel in your pipes and electrocute you while you're showering.
Now, okay, so has this happened before?
Yes.
To
So
who?
I didn't believe it. Mr. Babs told me that like I don't know. It's not like, what are the chances that you get struck by lightning? They're not exactly high either.
Exactly. So it's got to be super low in the shower.
Right, but there's still a chance. So that's why I was late today. Am I crazy?
Yes.
No, I wasn't asking you.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I was asking our listeners. Is that a thing? Do you guys not shower when it's lightning out? Do you wait until the storm passes before you hop in the shower? I'm just curious if I'm the only weird one that does that.
So listen, full transparency. We got Gordy B in there. I want to know, Gordy B, have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard that you can't get in the shower during a thunderstorm because there's a possibility you can get electrocuted?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard that. I've heard
have
you
you?
get struck by lightning, whatever. I mean, I know my grandparents used to never take a shower or whatever if there was a thunderstorm.
Really?
For fear of that.
Wow. Hunk, you get in the shower if it's thunderstorm?
Oh, I'm getting in the shower. My wife doesn't want me to, but I'm getting in because I think that this is just asinine. And I'm just like, I'm getting a shower.
You want to take the chance. You played the lottery.
Hey, and Slay Daddy, if you will look at Twitter recently, there is a screenshot of someone who was using the facilities somewhere and lightning struck while they were on the facility.
No. Huh?
Yeah, now he's looking it up. So yeah, it's a thing. My wife never wants me to get
I
in the
just
shower
heard
before.
from my sweet neighbor friend too, and she said never shower when it's lightning out. Lightning can travel through your pipes. See, it's a real thing.
What? Now
I'm just changing your life, aren't I?
Yeah,
Slay?
I don't get it because
So okay, somebody send the tweet to me though, so I can, because I'm having trouble finding it, or wherever it is. Listeners out there, 615-737-1045. Love to have you all join in on that conversation. We're going to talk a little more sports too, but we do need to find out, is this true? Because I just told Lil Ron before I left the house, hey, boy, why you ain't got in the shower yet and it was thunderstorm?
Oh.
So I just set him up.
Well, I need to call him and be like, hey, listen, here's your excuse. I got you.
Oh, he definitely going to use it. Definitely going to use it.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Yep.
That's wild, man. I did hear about the TV. I heard about the TV.
What, you're not supposed to leave the TV on?
Yeah, my grandmama said, well, you better turn that TV off. Oh!
Send that to me. What is it? Actually, just tweet it. All of our listeners are like, what? We are on radio.
I told y'all, I tell y'all this every time. When you rocking with a guy like Gordy B, you know what I mean? You run the information through him. You know what I mean? And, he's like the lightning. He's the lightning that goes through the pipes. And he'll hit you automatically. And he just hit me with one. Toilet struck and shattered by lightning. Wow. Oh, it hit the roof.
See? Oh, my gosh. You see that? We got to tweet that out for our listeners.
So that came through the window?
Hold on.
Oh, y'all,
let's go to line one. We have callers.
Trippy. This a little trippy right here.
David in Lebanon wants to weigh in on this before we start talking sports here. David.
I was just using
What do you know?
Guys, this is the truth, honest to God. When I was a little kid, my brother was in the bathroom. He was sitting on the toilet during a lightning storm, came in, struck our bathroom, and it danced all around the sink while he was sitting on the toilet.
What?
You have to be kidding
This
me.
a real thing.
I am being honest to God. It happened, and
was he okay though?
Oh, he was fine. The lightning was, like circling around on the sink while he was sitting there.
Hey, man.
Y'all, see?
Hey,
Thanks,
where were you, David? Where were you growing up? When was this?
This is in Lebanon, Tennessee.
In Lebanon, Tennessee. Okay, man, real close to home. I appreciate that, David, man.
Y'all have a great day. It's a pleasure talking to y'all.
Hey,
Thanks,
man,
David.
get out the rain, David. You got me nervous.
See? You're never going to take a shower in a thunderstorm again, are you?
Guess what's more important than that?
You're never going
Than
to
anything. I ain't going to have to, man, I can't go drop the kids at the pool.
drop.
Like, Gordy B just threw me off with this one like that. Hey, man, this is like being in the bed when it's thunderstorming. That's some of the best sleep ever. When you're doing the number two, I don't mean to get graphic with y'all.
I do not.
I'm just saying, when the thunderstorm, that's some of the best number two-ing. I'm telling y'all the truth.
I'm cutting you off.
Okay.
Alex and Mount Juliet.
Sorry.
Alex.
See, Alex knew it. Am I lying, Alex?
Hey, so do
do any of you guys eat cookie dough, raw cookie dough? Is that still a thing? Do you still eat cookie dough?
I used to until J Mart said his wife had a dream about me eating cookie dough and me dying eating it. So I stopped.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I no longer eat it. No. So don't.
Well, I feel like the chances of getting struck by lightning in the shower are probably fewer than if you were to get salmonella or E. coli or whatever they say you can get from eating cookie dough, or like they say, don't leave, chicken salad out for more than 20 minutes. Otherwise, you can. And it's like everybody that's been to a barbecue knows that chicken salad's been sitting out for 4 hours.
Yeah. It's been sitting out there too long.
He's
You're
not
right.
wrong.
You ain't wrong at all, Alex.
Thanks, Alex. He's not wrong. But there's still that chance. Why risk it when you don't have to?
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, as much as I want to win the lottery, you still don't go play it. So I guess it's the same thing as jumping in the shower. Don't go play that lottery, and you might get struck and win.
I just retweeted at Dawn Davenport TN, by the way. I just retweeted the picture that Gordy B sent.
That's
us,
a wild
Red
one.
B.
That's a scary one. With
It's
Red B got
the
going
lightning
on.
that went through the pipes and basically struck the toilet, right?
Made the toilet explode, and it left a mark on the ceiling where the lightning came all the way through it. Man, it's real out here, y'all. Man, hey, be somewhere safe.
Yeah.
The line's lit up too. People want to share their stories, man. We got sports we got to get to though, but we with you.
We do have a couple minutes, but we are going to speak with Dennis Dodd. I'm pretty sure this isn't a topic that Dennis Dodd is going to want to hit on.
But we gonna
he's
make
a little busier nowadays. But yeah, Dennis Dodd, national college football writer for CBS Sports, will join us at 3:20. Is that right, Hunk?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Hey,
okay.
we're right.
And we have asked him. We've requested him numerous days to talk about this college football expansion. And so now we finally got him. I'm excited to hear what he has to say. And
it's great that we have him because of the misinformation that's also flying around today.
And that's what I was going to bring up. There was a report out there that said that Clemson, FSU, Virginia, and Carolina were in talks to join the SEC. And then there were several reports that debunked that. So we'll ask Dennis Dodd what he has heard and what he knows about that. So he's coming up at 3:20.
Okay. All right. Sounds like fun. No.
I'm looking at Hunk. All of our lines are loaded.
Man, that's because people don't listen. People like me, they don't understand. People like you just got to explain to you. You Googled it, now you believed it. Then you got people like Gordy B that really seen it. You know what I mean? So he sent the picture out, and now people out here startled, Babs, and we here for comfort. You know what I mean? Because, man, ain't nothing like, I'm telling you right now, ain't nothing like jumping in the pool when it's raining. Not thunderstorming, y'all.
Hey, do you know anybody that's ever been struck by lightning?
No, I don't.
I do. Neil Orn.
Twice. Former partner at Channel 2, yeah.
Yeah, he twice.
What?
I'm like, I'm never getting anywhere near you.
My grandfather got struck by lightning. He was a farmer and a carpenter.
Right.
He was putting the cows in the barn. At the time he was closing the barn doors, he was struck by lightning. It blew the soles off of his Brogan boots. Now, he was fine.
Kidding
but
me?
It blew him.
Straight off. Hey, man, this is and that, first of all, I'm laughing because
it's
like,
amazing.
Wow, like this is, you know what I mean? Sometimes you laugh and keep from crying and all that. Like, this is one of those moments. My wow moment, I'm laughing. Like,
there are park rangers. There used to be a guy in the Guinness Book of World Records that was a National Park Service ranger out west. I want to say Grand Canyon or something like that. He'd been struck by lightning 7 different times.
I see. He need to give it up. He need to get
but that's like Neil Orn over at News 2. I think he's been twice.
Wasn't there like a bit in the movie like Great Outdoors with John Candy, the guy that just kept getting struck by lightning?
Hey, man, listen.
Was that in that?
Yes. He just, every time he walked outside, he gets struck by lightning.
Everybody go home and lock the door. Get in the corner.
My Twitter feed
is going off.
Is freaking hilarious.
See,
God, I love y'all.
Hey, man, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
We'll be
You
right
can check it out.
in this
Okay,
thing.
listen, Josh, Daniel, Steven, Chris, everybody on whoever's calling in about showers. We're going to talk to Dennis Dodd first, but we will reconvene this conversation
Most definitely
throughout the
have to.
day. So you can stick around if you want. Dennis Dodd at 3:20. We'll hit this again. I can't believe you went into the deuce
Yoro,
talk.
where are you, Yoro?
Oh
We
my
need you.
gosh, this is like my nightmare right now.
You started it.
I did. I started it. It's all my fault. Dang it. Dennis Dodd from CBS Sports is next.
What's happening, people? You know who it is. It's me, Ron Slayman, and I've been telling you all week that you need to get ready. You need to get...
I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Banks are great for car loans, but when you need a home loan, you need an expert. We'll get you pre-approved the day you call in, lower rates, and with our 21-day closing guarantee, you'll be in your dream home in weeks.
Welcome back in 3HL 104.5 The Zone, Dawn Davenport. Alongside Ron Slay.
Hey, I'm in the building. Best believe I'm in the building. Better be ready. I'm in the building. Calling on the roof. Time for the show.
College football ain't got no roof.
Oh, it does.
Expansion ain't got no roof.
No.
Dan Wetzel ain't got no roof.
At all.
Yahoo Sports, Dan Wetzel joining us. Wetzel, where in the heck do we even start?
Some smoldering ruins. The backstabbing, the shanking, the
shanking,
prison yard mentality. I don't know. I don't know. Although it's wild out there.
It is wild out there. I'm actually going to start with a piece that you put out today, because a lot of people read the headline and be like, what the heck is Wetzel talking about? The headline, every college football fan should be rooting for the Pac-12's survival. Please explain.
Well, look, I've heard, whether you love the Pac-12 or not, or you care about the Pac-12 necessarily, or you think the Pac-12 did this to themselves, which they kind of did in a lot of ways. I love college football, and I love all of college football. I'm not a fan of just one team. And so what I love is the absurdity, the chaos, the anarchy, the jokes, the ridiculousness, the entire concept that you have 131 schools ranging from big state U's to elite private schools to military academies to religious institutions to former junior colleges to whatever the heck we come up with, all competing for one championship ostensibly. And as much as a great Alabama LSU game or Ohio State USC game is what more people will tune into, I love those Saturdays when there's like 75 games going on and it's chaos all over. I love that TCU and SMU play for an iron skillet. I love that Wyoming and Colorado State play for a boot. I love that last year, was it Indiana and Penn State went like 10 overtimes and couldn't convert a 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
I love the Hail Marys. I love I love it all. And I want all of it going on. And most of it is not a threat to anybody. And so when you pare down the conferences and you lead to 2 super conferences and maybe 40 teams that matter, then all you have is the NFL. The football may be better. There may be more better games to watch, but you lose part of what I love about this sport, and that's the vastness and the chaos of it. So as much as it's the Pac-12, the Big 12, the Mountain, all of it, it's better when all of them have something to play for and at least some kind of dream. You could make a playoff, or you matter, or it's still Division I. I'll take that over NFL Light any day of the week.
So, and it's funny because we had this discussion almost word for word yesterday, because I said, what will be missed if we turn into super conferences, even if there's 3, because right now it seems to be a battle for who's going to be number 3.
Right.
And I said, man, I'm going to miss those rivalries that never well, that you just can't keep all of them. They're not all going to be there. Like some of those rivalries are going to end up going away. And I'm like, I'm going to miss the Jacksonville State almost upsetting Auburn, even though, I mean, I worked a lot of those games,
Right.
4 years ago. So I actually worked that game. But and the joy that you see from the guys that were just a little too small or a little too slow to, go play at a big school, but then get a chance to possibly upset a big school and get to play in that arena, like all of that, I think will be missed. So is this just all about money?
Yeah, it's money and, the lack of a postseason that sets up, that assures access to it, and the fear of being just not in that spot where you can still attract recruits. So, it's those things, but a lot of college football programs they know they're never going to win the national championship.
Welcome back in 3HL and 104.5 The Zone. Don Davenport, Ron Slade, Joe Hunk behind the glass. If you hate the music that he plays for the intros, it is at Joe Hunk on Twitter if you want to get at it.
Say it for this song. It's too legit to quit.
I know, but it sounded not like the original.
Oh, no, it's 100% the original.
MC Hammer?
That's the MC Hammer, Too Legit to
Man,
Quit. I
guess
don't
I'm
do
just
covers.
old. I don't remember
I love
that.
cover songs. Do not have any covers in the system for us.
Huh.
All are legit and originals.
Okay. Well, there you go. This guy's legit and original. Dennis Dodd at Dennis Dodd CBS, national college football writer for CBS Sports. Hey, Dennis, how are you?
I'm good. Good afternoon, you guys.
Hey.
Good to have you with us. I know that you are slammed busy because there is bits of information leaking out on this college football chaos every single day. Let's start big picture, Dennis. And is any of this that's going on surprising to you?
I guess by the time, it is. I think everybody was floored by Texas, Oklahoma last year, but I thought that USC, UCLA to the Big Ten surpassed that, just because, at least Texas and Oklahoma were in the footprint. They always had options because who they were, and it made sense, some sort of cultural sense in the SEC, as shocking as it was. USC and UCLA got rid of 94 years of tradition. They helped form what was the old Pacific Coast Athletic Association, now the Pac-12, in exchange for flying a volleyball team across 4 time zones, 5 hours to play on the East Coast for football money.
Yep.
So I guess we ought to get used to it.
I know, it's crazy. I think about I played volleyball in college, and I think about the other sports, the smaller sports that's going to be a heck of a academic and missing classes and all of that for some of the travel. But, football money is what we're here to talk about. So the Pac-12, then what happens to it?
The Pac-12 is in tenuous shape. They've got 10 members left. They have gone to market as of 2 days ago into a 30-day exclusive negotiating window with ESPN and Fox, their current rights holders. The problem there is they can't answer the question of who's going to be in the league. The fact that they went to market doesn't mean they got a loyalty oath to go to market from those 10. So I still think they're vulnerable. If the Big 12 wants to flex, if some other conference wants to flex, you already see reports of the Pac-12 trying to do some sort of money-raising agreement with the ACC. So things are getting a little bit desperate for everybody. I'm not going to single out the Pac-12.
So the ACC, I think the big question a lot of people have is the race for number 3, who's going to be number 3? And I felt like we hadn't heard a ton from the ACC. Of course, there's reports out today that have since been debunked by several other sources that, FSU, Clemson, Carolina, Virginia were in talks to join the SEC. So what do you know about that in the state of the ACC?
Yeah, that is best. That report was debunked. Not to say it couldn't happen, but it's best just to leave that alone, because that was a danger of Twitter.
Yeah.
And it cost me a half hour of my life trying to run that thing. So welcome to tail chasing season. Two things about the ACC. They're freaking out over the disparity in income that will be there when the SEC and Big Ten new contracts go online. $50 million per school per year. Now, they're freaking out over what that means in terms of ability to hire staff, coaches, resources, facilities, everything. How do you stay competitive, with any of that? The second thing is, obviously, there's consternation by Clemson, Florida State, and Miami, and whether they can get out. You hear Virginia and North Carolina mentioned as well, whether they can get out of this granted right. The difference being, it was easy for Oklahoma and Texas. They had 4 years to go on their deal. So, they just had to play out the string. This is 14 years left till 2036. It's interim jail for the Pac-12, because that money in the SEC and Big Ten isn't going to go down. I mean, if the Big Ten gets Notre Dame, if the SEC poaches the ACC and wrecks the ACC with those three schools, then what do you do? So there's all kinds of consternation in the ACC.
Well, speaking of the ACC, Dennis Dodd from CBS Sports with us. A lot of people have said, oh, well, if Notre Dame does join a conference, they're tied to the ACC. Is that true? And Notre Dame is kind of like the golden goose here on the outside. Where do they end up?
Yeah, I don't know. The contract, and I have written that if they join a conference for 2036, it has to be the ACC. But, what's being tossed around is, if they wanted to go to the Big Ten, they could beat them there tomorrow. So is there a penalty for that? I'll be honest with you, that's one I have to figure out. But the Notre Dame has options, and they're the biggest dog left. They may choose to do nothing and stay independent. They've left money on the table for decades, particularly with the Big Ten. But now, as I've mentioned many times, this money is so generational. And projections are, if Notre Dame joins the Big Ten, that per team pot annually would go up to more than $100 million. Don't you owe that to your school and your athletes to do that? Especially if the Big Ten could lure Stanford, say, and then Notre Dame's 5 most frequent rivals will be playing in the same league with it. Michigan, Michigan State, Purdue, USC, and Stanford. How about that?
Wow.
So if that happens, it's really hard to turn down. But I'm not going to predict anything because they turn down everything before.
Right. Yeah, like worst decision ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dennis, let me ask you this. Is it any way we're hearing these numbers that are being thrown around with TV deals and everything? Do you believe that somewhere along the lines they're considering, the higher ups, a way to kind of wrangle back in this NIL money that's going to be thrown around? Would the schools or the conferences be able to, when it comes to football, kind of limit or put a cap on the NIL money for these players? Because it seems like the money, when we're talking about TV money and everything for these super conferences, is going to be limitless. And right now we're in a state where it is limitless almost for the players. You're talking about $11 million deals, $8 million deals. Like, what do we have to look forward to with that?
Well, it's not going to limit NIL. You're bringing in $100 million a year in the college football playoff. If there ever is one, expanded going for $1 billion, that kind of makes it hard in a court of law to try to limit what the players are getting. They're producing the labor to get you this money. So that was the answer before this, and it's certainly the answer to this after. We did on the website a 3-part series on this last week addressing this very issue on the first anniversary of NIL and Title IX, what college football is going to look like in the future. And one of the conclusions was, because of so much money in the system, there's going to be even more pressure to compensate players. How do you do that? Well, you can't limit it. but I think you can collectively bargain it, and you can establish some sort of revenue sharing where you give players a stipend, make it part of the scholarship agreement, but it's unsavory. It's just say, here's a stipend for $30,000. In return, we're going to cap it at $30,000, but in return, you agree to that. You give us 2 years before going to the portal, which I think for every coach in the country would be huge right now.
Right.
I think that's something they could negotiate. Doesn't make them employees necessarily, doesn't have them form unions necessarily, and it doesn't, I don't think it's unsavory for a representative of the players to sit across a bargaining table with someone with the conferences, doing something like this. And we're almost to that point anyway. If I learned anything from going to games last fall, is the fans just want to watch the games.
Yeah.
They just want to watch Alabama and LSU. They just want to watch Michigan and Ohio State. They don't give a darn what they're earning on Saturday.
Another thing for you, I know that we're speaking about football, but how long before we see this trickle down to high school football? You kind of see it already with basketball as far as NILs and people foregoing their college future and going to these overseas elite teams with the G League and other leagues that are popping up. How long before you see that trickle into the juniors and seniors of high school? Like, it's already a big show of, I'm down to my last 25 offers that I'm gonna make September 7th. I'll make it down to 10. Like, where are we at in that when it comes to NIL? All about branding and these kids starting earlier.
We're in many states. We're already there. Refer you to the last name of Manning, first name Arch, and what state he plays football in. It is allowed in Louisiana to get NIL money in high school.
Wow.
So, whether you care or not, Arch Manning's going to be well taken care of. He was going to be well taken care of if his name wasn't Arch Manning, because he could earn money.
Yeah.
In the state of Louisiana, last time I checked, there was a bill on the governor's desk to have boosters directly involved. How do you get your arms around it? Congress is interested in doing it. Again, it's something you may have to collectively bargain, and that's like putting toothpaste back in the tube.
Yeah.
It's already arrived. NIL is being used as an inducement. Are there, what number is too big for anybody? Is it Nico Iamaleava, the $8 million contract? Is that too big? I don't know. Who's to say?
Right.
Not if they win with them.
Not the results in the championship.
Well, that's another story. What if he does? And then if he does or not, there's going to be a market for that. I don't know if you guys missed this, but Ryan Day a few weeks ago said, he was speaking to a group, and he said, we need $13 million to keep up. And it sounded really unsavory at the time, but I was heartened by it, because in the same breath, he said quarterbacks are going for $2 million, and edge rushers or offensive linemen are going for $1 million. And that was optimistic to me, because that suggested there's now a market forming around these guys and their position and their worth. Okay, and I think that's eventually what will happen. There'll be enough bust, if you will, quote unquote, that these boosters won't be paying as much, and a market will form around it. There'll be some outliers. People will lose money. Kids will get booed. But this is American economics, and I think it's playing out before our eyes.
No doubt. Wow. Dennis Dodd, CBS Sports with us. Let's kind of go back to the Pac-12, Big 12 news that you reported a couple of days ago. We talked kind of an entire show around that in the Big 12 kind of poaching part of the Pac-12. Where does that sit? And is there a benefit for schools to go ahead and make a move now, or is this a wait and see?
Well, the Pac-12 may not be a conference. So, is there a benefit for schools to move? Yes. The fact that Phil Knight, the last I checked, I was shocked by this week, is cold calling like a telemarketer, working the phones, trying to find a home for Oregon. For Oregon! The flagship of the Nike brand. because they don't have one. The Pac-12, as I mentioned, went out to bid on Tuesday. Do they go forward with 10? Are they able to extract some teams from the Big 12? Do they end up as some sort of hybrid with the Mountain West? Or, the Big 12, I keep saying this, worst case scenario for the Big 12 is they get through, the best case scenario, they get through this without being poached. So any part of this that ends with the 12 current teams due to go forward in 2025 without any of them moving is a win for the Big 12. So expansion, yeah, good, possibly. Corner the market, collapse a conference. They of all conferences should know the advantages of being proactive. They about 3 times in the last 11 or 12 years, they've almost gone away. So why not go and do it?
Wow.
No doubt. All right. Big picture question on the way out here, Dennis. Is this good for college football? Because there's arguments on both sides of it.
You know what? It just is.
It doesn't matter because it's happening.
Well, I hate the DH. I would have laid down my body in front of the train to kill the DH. I'm kind of ambivalent about it right now. I've gotten used to it. So I thought it was really bad for the sport. We can live with it. Anyway, the flush of money is just a degree. It's been there for decades. It started with the '84 Supreme Court decision that deregulated college football television. And now we're seeing really, really big amounts of money being thrown around. Guess what? The games are still great. Yeah. We're still engaged. We still love it. As long as it doesn't do that, it doesn't infiltrate that in the kids in the locker room, which I don't think it will, because there's been plenty of opportunities before and after NIL, and I think we'll be fine.
All right. Love it. Dennis Dodd, CBS Sports, thank you so much for spending time with us. I know that, like you said, you had 30 minutes of your life you wanted back having to chase down and debunk a report that came out. So we know you're busy, and we always appreciate it when you're on here in Nashville.
All right, you guys got it. Thank you.
Thanks, Dennis Dodd. There he is. You can follow him at Dennis Dodd CBS. He's all over this college football chaos that we are talking about. So if you want to follow him on Twitter, he does good stuff. Man, so we've had Dennis Dodd and Wetzel on in 2 days. We had Chris Lowe on Friday talking about all of this. You've got your insiders that you can hear right here on 3HL.
Yeah. And you know what, Babsy? I can't wait to, when we get Savage Ramon Foster on in the 5 o'clock hour, ask him about something I wanted to ask Dennis Dodd, but no, he just probably like swamped with questions. Like, come on, man, enough is enough. But I do want to know, with Ramon being a part of the NFLPA, do you look at what's going on in the college landscape, with this money and these NIL deals and these kids, air quotations, getting $8 million deals before entering college? Does this directly affect the NFL rookies and the the undrafted guys coming into the league? Like, because why would I risk going into a 4th or 5th round spot if I got $2 million left on the deal at University of Texas? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder how this affects. If I got $11 million, Babsy, before I'm supposed to leave my junior year, goodness, man, we got to reevaluate some things then. Like, this don't mean everything to me. You know what I'm saying? So that's interesting, man. I wonder what his take is. It's coming from an NFL guy, like, because I look at it on the basketball side, and I feel like it's always with NILs and the money that the colleges have been receiving, it's always went hand in hand. But now that it's all on the table, like, how much do I get to grab before I leave? And that, honestly, if this was on the table, and I could have left after my freshman year, but NIL deals were intact, I'm not going nowhere.
Really?
I'm not going nowhere. Not if I'm not lottery.
Because why would you?
It's a pay cut. And our TV, we're going to get more games on TV than the NBA is in whatever market I'm going to, if it's not LA, Boston, Dallas, the big market teams, New York. But in the SEC, man, we're on TV every single night. and probably the primetime game. And if it's not, it's on SEC Network.
Yeah.
Let me stay right there, build my brand up, and I'll see y'all in 2 or 3 years, and maybe I won't. I might come back and do a branding thing with the university.
Maybe
like,
I won't.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's different, man. That's wild, man. That's wild. Money everywhere.
So much money.
Better not get in the shower and get no money, though. That was a storm to storm. I'm just saying.
Apparently, I've been dancing with death the entire time and never knew it.
You
Play your
had
whole
no
lottery.
idea. You better not go to the bathroom during a thunderstorm either,
That's
apparently.
what my problem was going to lie.
Now I want to hear lightning strike stories.
Oh, 615-737-1045. Come on.
That's right. We'll be back after this.
Because it did take Hendon Hooker some time to get on the field,
Yeah.
Greg. But when he did, that offense obviously is going to make players successful. But it was difficult to argue with the efficiency that Hendon Hooker showed in that offense. I mean,
No
anybody can look at 31 touchdowns and 3 interceptions and say, yeah, that's
pretty good.
Pretty good, right?
and-
But as far as his skill set is concerned, Greg, I wonder what you kind of saw from him at the position.
I will say this, my initial, the early viewing of his tape, I did not particularly like it, but he grew on me.
Okay.
And I ended up watching more than I probably should have, just because, I'm trying to watch, because all this is just, in a sense, preliminary, Buck. I mean, we have another whole season to play when I'll go into more detail after the 2022 season.
But it's good to do
sometimes
the groundwork the way that you do.
Right, but sometimes I watch a guy and I think, I really feel like I should watch a little more.
Right.
And that's the way I felt about Hooker. Because initially, and I think I mentioned this to you last week, not during the podcast, but I said I didn't like him early on. And the more I watched him, the more I thought he was intriguing.
Yeah.
He's going to be an older quarterback when he's drafted. And I don't know how the league will view that. I think he'll be 24, if I'm not mistaken, when he's drafted, assuming he is drafted. But he's tall, he's athletic, he's got a good arm. He can work the intermediate and deeper levels of the field. He's got mobility to make second reaction plays. He gives an offense the design quarterback run game. He's not an explosive, twitchy runner. He's not sudden. He's not, you don't look at him and go, wow, that's Lamar Jackson, but he's big and he's physical and he's got enough straight line speed that he's a factor as a runner.
I like this one.
Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome back. 3HL and 104.5
Okay.
The Zone. Dawn Davenport alongside Ron Slay and Joe Hunk. Mayor is out. He is back tomorrow.
His assignment is almost over.
His assignment's almost over, and we will actually be live.
Yes. At Brian's
Motorsports.
Motorsports. Yep, that's right, Babsy.
What is it? Humble Hendersonville,
Yep.
that Ramon calls it.
That's right. 789 West Main Street in Hendersonville. You can be there.
I mean, it's a party, right? Like
Yes.
there's food trucks, there's music, there's all of that.
It's an actual party. The party starts at 5. We'll be there at 3. So you can come and hang with us too
Okay.
till then.
Perfect. So party starts at 5. We'll be there from 3 to 6 and then some.
And come meet Brian and them, because them some cool dudes, man. You know, some people could be so engulfed in the work, they ain't kind of really want to step away and talk and everything. Brian and them cool. Brian and them some good dudes over there. So swing on through. Mess with us.
There we go. Perfect. We will see hopefully a bunch of y'all tomorrow out in Hendersonville. In the meantime, that was good stuff
In
from
between
Dennis
time.
Dodd. Yes. If you missed it, then check out our podcast page.
That's right.
1045thezone.com.
Yeah.
Is that right?
No, that is very correct. Good
Okay.
job. Way to go, Don. Way to know the station's website.
I was waiting for somebody to bail me out there.
Look, the moment you asked for lightning conversation and more calls about the lightning, we had phone lines blow up again. So I've been taking those calls.
Do we have people that have been struck by lightning?
They personally have not, but they have been around it. I know we have a couple on that. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you the one that you need to go to first is going to be Mike.
Mike? Okay. All right. Mike in Nashville, you're up. Hey, Mike.
Hey, good. How you doing? I listen to you guys every day here at work. And Big Slay, first I'm going to say the lightning story. My wife was from Chicago, and we were there visiting, and this is back when Oprah was on, and Oprah even had the kid on her show. This kid's beeper, remember Pagers? His beeper was on his belt buckle and got struck by lightning.
What?
And blew his belt off and blew his pants right off of it.
I guess that was a 911 page. He didn't get on through to that.
Dude, nothing happened to the kid though, man. But
Good.
He brought the pants with him to the show. They were like all burnt and frayed and stuff, and the beeper was fine. But yeah, he got struck by lightning.
That's
on his
amazing.
belt.
So his beeper basically saved his life.
Yeah,
Or maybe
I
that's
guess
why
God
he
was
got
keeping
struck.
him.
Yeah.
That's right.
His God was saving him.
Well, you better get in touch with me.
Just a little God wake up there. Yeah.
Hey, Slay, you want some real barbecue? There's a truck on Murfreesboro Road across from Publix called the Rib Doctor. Doc. Oh my God.
Called the Rib Doctor?
The Rib Doctor is a truck. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Okay.
And I'm from Detroit. My wife's from Chicago, so we know BQ when we eat it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So check it out.
Say no more. I appreciate that.
You guys are hilarious.
Thank you,
All right?
bro.
Keep it up.
Thanks, Mike.
Hey, Rib Doctor. Now they out here blasting you out. Now when I slide through there, give me a cool little half rack. I hope I got to turn around to get the other half. I hope I got to turn around to get the other half, man.
All right, let's check in with Buffalo on line 2. Hey, Buffalo.
He's talking about Murfreesboro Road and Forest View. They got some really good barbecue. Shout out to my triplet siblings were born today in 1962. They turned 60. Peter, Paul, and Peggy.
Oh, wow.
Their birthdays today.
Wow, happy
That's
birthday
what's
to the
up.
triplets. Peter,
so
Paul, and Peggy.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So let's get back to the lightning strikes. There was 2 guys that died in Spring Hill. They were working on plumbing under a house. They were under the house, and lightning came down the tree across the wet grass. It got a hold of that copper water line that they were working on and killed them both.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
That was in Spring Hill about 1990 something. But then, so I had a coworker. We used to build electrical substations, and his name was Peanut. He was really short. His cowboy boots were in the bottom of his driver's license picture. He was so short. But
We used to have a listener called Peanut.
he got hit by lightning twice, and the second time it blew because it was wet. It blew his nipples off and his big toes. It blew his big toes out because it went out. It came in through his shirt, went out through his toes, through his steel-toed boots. Peanut got hit twice by lightning.
My gosh, like some people are prone to it.
And then, it's a pretty common thing. You got to be careful in the lightning. And then Dawn, I just want to say, go Nashville SC. They got you another draw the other night. I know you love that draw.
You know I love that, Buffalo.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Wow. See, how about the stories of people that get struck more than once? Like I told you, my old coworker, my old co-anchor on the morning show, he's still on there, Neil Warren.
That's crazy.
He's been struck twice. So some people clearly are more prone to be struck by lightning. I don't think I want to be near that person during a storm, or, they're going to get struck and you're good. I don't know.
Yeah, like what? Like, man.
You want them around.
So you standing by the guy and he got his shirt on, his nipples pop out his shirt?
Well, I mean, I don't think it was like directly like a boop. Like, I don't think that's what happened.
No, right. But see this. Okay, but see this what I'm saying though. Like I've been playing around with the lightning.
I don't think it's like a lightning bolt shot out or anything.
Like you haven't taken it seriously?
I haven't.
No.
And I'm gonna tell you,
you're never gonna shower in lightning again.
No, because I was thinking the problem was, man, I watched the Gremlins. I love the Gremlins. So I was watching it recently. I think it was Gremlins 2, with the lightning gremlin. It's a lightning gremlin in there.
Yeah.
And he danced across the water, and I thought that was kind of funny. But this ain't funny.
No.
Gremlin,
It's not funny at all.
Okay, yeah. Anybody else on there want to talk about the lightning?
Everybody, Slay. Everybody.
Let's check in with Josh in Clarksville before we wrap up this hour. Hey, Josh.
What's going on, party people?
What's happening, Josh?
Hey, before COVID came around, I used to work a lot of music festivals, and I was working one out in the West, probably I'm not going to say the name of the festival because it didn't go well with the insurance, but we even in the employee camping areas, they'll line up porta potties 10, 15, 20 wide, and they had lined up all the porta potties right behind a big old chain link fence that was forming the border of the festival.
Ooh.
And some lightning storms came through, and I happened to wake up that night having to drop the kids off the pool, and I got business to do, so I ran into a porta potty, and shortly after lightning hit, about 5 porta potties down, it hit the fence and it arced over and blew the top off the porta potty about 5 down.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I didn't have to poop for 2 weeks.
I bet, boy. Hey.
Yeah, it was wild. So I didn't even see it. I ran out. I was probably the fastest poop I've ever had in my life. I ran out and everybody came out of their tents and I was just like, what was that? And sure enough, the emergency service, a firefighter even came up and said, probably arced off the fence and hit some metal bits that were probably part of the construction of the porta potty.
Wow, man. Be safe out there, man. Appreciate you sharing this story, brother. Goodness gracious.
Hey, first-time listener, long-time listener, first-time caller, and I can also rep for the rib doctor.
Hey, okay. That's 3.
That's 3.
That's 3 right there.
I know what you're getting tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Say no more. Okay.
Thanks,
Man.
Josh. We got to take a break. 4 o'clock hour, though, is coming up. We do have Greg Cosell at 4:20. So get ready for that. We'll take your calls. If you're on the line, 615-737-1045. This is 3HL.
I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Banks are great for car loans, but when you need a home loan, you need an expert. We'll get you pre-approved the day you call in, lower rates, and with our 21-day closing guarantee, you'll be in your dream home in weeks.
Good afternoon from the Superbook.com sports desk. I am Joe Hunk. Tennessee Vols athletic director Danny White has put out a wide-ranging plan. He did that earlier today, and it involves the potential of the athletic operating budget growing over $30 million. From $170 million, which is what it will be in 2022-2023, to over $200 million, which is what he plans on it being in 2026 and 2027. He also wants every single athletic program at Tennessee to come up with a strategic plan to create that they can say this is their plan for winning both an NCAA championship and, of course, an SEC championship. And the Atlanta Braves are going for that 4-game sweep tonight against the St. Louis Cardinals. First pitch is going to be at 6:20. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Vols, the flagship station for your Tennessee Titans, and home to 3HL. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome in. 3HL on 104.5 The Zone. Happy Thursday to you.
Happy Thursday.
You're there. You're basically at the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Short work week for a lot of people. Independence Day was on Monday.
Yeah.
It's already Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Weekend's right around the corner.
That's right.
4 o'clock on a Thursday. Basically, it's Friday.
It really is. Like 2 more minutes and it'll be there.
Bosses are like, stop.
Okay, you got 1 more day.
I'm Dawn Davenport. He's Ron Slay.
I didn't know which direction to go with that. You introduced both.
This kind got no room. This kind got no room.
That's a pretty good direction to go, actually, because Joe Hunk, by the way, behind the glass. Good old Rocky Top just got a nice little signing, didn't they?
This is correct. Tennessee beat out Penn State and Maryland for a 4-star. Some people say 5-star. Wide receiver Cameron Seldon, who does a little more than just get out there and run routes. This is a guy that can get back there in the backfield. If I'm correct, Will Bowling was telling me the comparison is to a guy, which I hate doing this, but a guy like Deebo Samuel, where he can get in the backfield, run, getting the running back to tailback spot, or split out in the slot or out there on the edge. And this young man is from Heathsville, Virginia. Big Volunteers over there in Maryland and Penn State. So way to go. Ranked number 104 nationally in 24/7 Sports Composite. Expected to play wide receiver in college, though he played multiple spots on both sides of the ball.
Hence the whole versatile Deebo like.
Correct, Babsy. So another one brought in, man.
I mean,
heating up.
Do we have to like say, oh, he's like Deebo? No. How about you can utilize him as a back or a receiver?
Yeah. Or
catch the ball out of the backfield.
Or compare him to someone that played that similar style in college, maybe at their school, such as like an Alvin Kamara. I thought he was a guy that could split out, also catch it out the backfield and line up in the backfield. So yeah, somebody like that. Deebo, that's a lot expected if you say that.
That's some heavy
all pro
shoes.
guy. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, welcome in. If you've missed the first hour, you can go check it out on our podcast, 1045thezone.com.
You can label it a lightning round.
Yes, the lightning round. We did talk to Dennis Dodd with CBS Sports, so we did talk a lot about college football and the recent expansion. If you saw, as far as headlines for today, if you saw maybe the report that Clemson, FSU, Virginia, and North Carolina were going to join the SEC, that has since been debunked by Dennis Dodd was one of them, because he said he spent 30 minutes of his day today calling to make sure that was not actually true. Now, that doesn't mean that it won't be true in the future. I think most likely it probably will.
Right.
I don't know about those teams, but I could definitely see a Clemson and an FSU heading that way. And a Miami.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on over. Plenty of room.
So we'll see.
We got plenty of room.
But it ain't happening yet.
Not yet. But who knows?
Chaos.
I love it.
Love the chaos.
Love it. Chaotic.
See, I had asked Dennis Dodd too. I was like, well, does it benefit you to, as a school, to kind of wait and see where all the chips fall here? Because you don't want to go commit to the Pac-12 and then, all of a sudden the Pac-12's gone and your options are limited. But
right.
I mean, at this point, Notre Dame is probably the biggest school, the biggest fish that's still swimming. Put.
Right.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Makes sense.
Notre Dame in the SEC. Could you see it?
Yeah.
I think it better fit as Big Ten. But
I do too. I think
if they were in the SEC.
Oh yeah, I think it fits perfectly. I just like you even though we said you kind of throw out geographic locations, doesn't really matter when you're talking about supporting two super conferences. But if you just have these right now, Big Ten, the SEC, along with everybody else, I think it fits better right there with them. Right. Being in the Big Ten for location purposes. And everybody else that has to travel outside of football for that school. Like everybody, a lot of money is not allocated to the swim team. They got to go travel all the way to wherever it may be. So, yeah.
Well, and that's why there's so much talk that, hey, eventually this could be just two massive, big football conferences, and then all the other schools stay the same.
Right.
So as far as in their conferences. So, that could also be something that schools have to weigh.
This is correct.
On their minds when they decide what they're doing. So
spot on about it.
Yes. Well, we also, I was running late today. I mean, I was here for the show, but
I think everybody is totally shocked by this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hey, listen, nobody asked for your commentary at that moment right there. Nobody.
People thinking it, okay?
Just saying what they think.
Do you think that people, what? Okay. Can I just tell you, do you hear my phone vibrating right now?
Yeah, I thought that was me.
No,
yeah, go ahead.
It's me. And do you know what it is?
What?
It's my mother FaceTiming me. Like, do you not know what I do every day?
At the perfect time. She ain't wait till 4:13, 4:14 and then she's right in the midst of it.
4:07. She's FaceTiming me in the middle of the day, in the middle of my job. She used to do this when I was on the set on Sundays when I used to work at WKRN and do sports. On Sundays, knowing that I have sports on Sundays and then like a 30-minute, 40-minute show afterwards, wrapping up Titans stuff.
Right.
Would always call me at that time.
That's when you're available, Babs. That's what she's.
I want Dawn to pick it up so her mom will go, "Hey, what you doing?"
Yeah, I would love that.
Know. I'm working.
I love that. I love it.
But it's not like we have a job where it's like, oh, hey, yeah. Listen, I'll call you back after this meeting or something. Like, I am on the air.
You live.
You know what I do.
Live and direct.
3 to 6 every single day.
It's not like it changes.
Nope. Every Monday through
at least
Friday.
With college football, like sometimes I'm in the noon slot, sometimes I'm at night, sometimes I'm late, whatever.
Right.
Okay, I understand that, right? You can't keep up with where I am.
That's correct.
This is every day. 3 to 6. Done change.
Can't miss it.
And here's the other thing. I've now been in this job for 5 freaking years.
Yeah, she ain't realizing it, Babs. Yeah.
Buff.
Maybe she think
Come on, Buff.
You're on vacation right now, Babs.
Yeah. She's on vacation. That's what's going on.
That's it.
Anyway, so we were talking about I was running late, Hunk, shut it. And because I had to wait to shower because it was thunderstorming at my house and it was lightning outside, and you cannot take a shower while it's lightning outside. So that got us into the rabbit hole of talking about lightning. And you now, first of all, I've clearly now saved your life because you will never shower in a lightning storm anymore, will you?
Not unless it's emergency.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hunk.
Oh, I'm still in.
Ugh.
I'm still in.
What?
I'm still going. I'm still going to shower.
You have a permanent mohawk.
I may have a permanent mohawk. This may be the only thing left on the top of my head afterwards.
That would be.
That sounds correct.
It'd be like,
Sounds correct, huh?
laser hair removal, but just for that particular part of my head.
So then I was like, does anybody actually know somebody who's been struck by lightning?
Yes.
Which I said, I do. Neil Orn has been struck twice. And all these people calling in are like, my buddy has been struck twice. This guy's been struck 6 times, whatever. Like, clearly, some people just get struck by lightning.
And it's amazing how many people calling in and people know of people that's being struck by lightning. And I don't know nobody.
I only know Neil.
I mean, but you know somebody.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everybody else knows somebody.
Yeah.
Like,
But I wasn't there for it or anything.
yeah, you ain't got to be there not to know.
Well, let's check in with Steve by the lake.
Steve?
Hey, Steve.
Oh, Steve, I hope you ain't on the lake right now.
No, baby, I ain't on the lake, man, but I tell you where I am. I'm in the building.
Yeah.
In the building.
There we go. My man, Steve. How you doing,
No,
brother?
I didn't get hit in top of the head by lightning, but lightning hit our camp up here at Kentucky Lake and blew me off the couch.
What?
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, I landed off the couch into the floor, and I thought, oh, my God, my buddy's in the other camper. And I said, oh, my God, it's killed Bobby. So I went running out the door, and here come Bobby running across the parking lot. I said, dude, you all right? And he goes, what the heck was that? And I said, wow, I don't know, but it blew me off the couch. And it hit a tree right beside my camper and blew me off the couch. And it blew out all the electronics.
Wow. Man.
So did you have to replace everything?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dish had to come out, replace all the electronics, and we had to get all new TVs. It just fried everything.
That is crazy, man. It's no rhyme or reason either, man. It just hits when it hits. Okay. Appreciate that, Steve,
Well,
man. You stay safe, bro.
I had another buddy that was on the lake fishing.
Oh.
And he was running the front ends, running the trolling motor. And he got his limit and stuff, and he told the co-angler, he says, you go up and run the trolling motor and get your limit. And he went to the back of the boat, and lightning hit because the trolling motor was, remote control, high electronics. It hit the co-angler and killed him.
Whoa. Oh, my gosh.
And he's never fished again since.
Man, I bet, boy. That's ugly right there,
So
man.
that's my only 2 acquaintances with lightning. And I'm like y'all, I do not like, and I don't shower. And Miss Dawn, hello, honey. I thank you very much. And no, do not shower when it's lightning.
Man, I got it now. Okay. Wow. Appreciate it, Steve. Man,
There you go. Thanks,
It's real.
Steve. I'm telling you, man. Lightning is no
Golly.
joke. All right, we got to take a break, but before we do, we're gonna go rapid strike with these calls. Are you ready, Hunk? Yeah.
Rapid strike,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah. All right, Garrett and Gallatin, what you got?
Yeah, so I work for Serpro, and one of my first fire jobs that I ever worked, lightning struck these people's house, went all the way down their electrical conduit, in through the kitchen, down into the crawl space, started sparking, created a fire in their crawl space, burned their entire house. They had a little 6-month-old kitten that they got. It died of smoke inhalation. So that's that's my story, and that was one of my first jobs working for Serpro.
Wow.
Man, that's scary.
See, now we turn into horror
Garrett.
stories, man. See, that's why I don't like lightning. That's why I don't need you to like lightning. Come on, lightning. You gotta be cool out here, man. You gotta be cool out here, lightning. You just out here just acting up. You know what I mean? Taking people off the boats, blowing my man Steve off his couch.
Lightning and cool, those don't go together.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Vols deep.
Oh, here we go. Vols deep. What you got?
Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm in the building.
Yes, indeed.
This
this story goes back way back in early 2010. I worked for Domino's as a driver, and one of our other drivers had the day off, and we had a really bad storm that day. Well, the next day they came in and they had a new car because in the culinary class that they were in, sorry, something stuck in my throat. Lightning struck the parking lot just a few feet from where his car was. He could not start his car. The lightning fried the entire electronics on his car and every other car around that hole. And I saw the crater, and he took a picture of that crater, and you could fit about 3 basketballs in this.
Wow.
I'm never going outside in a storm again. Ever. Like, these stories are giving me anxiety.
I'm going to let you know the next one that we have, you should be prepared.
Really?
Yes.
Do I do it now?
Yes.
Wow.
Trust me.
Hunk never tells us to do
I'm
this.
telling
We've
you.
got Greg
I'm telling
Cosell
you.
coming up, by the way. We're going to digest the Colts this week with Cosell. Wow. Okay. Steve.
Okay.
Hit us.
Yeah. I know you got someone coming up. Listen, a friend of mine was out. He was riding horseback with a girlfriend he had. The storm came up. They took shelter under a big tree, and the tree was struck by lightning. They were not. They had rubber shoes on, and they were okay, except for the horse. The guy had his hand resting on the back of the horse. The horse was wearing steel horseshoes.
Oh.
The lightning came up through the horse, blew his shirt off, burned his chest, knocked him out. He had to go to the ER, and it killed the horse.
Whoa.
Oh, my
gosh.
gosh.
Wow. Man, and ain't nothing to prevent that. Like, you got the shoes. The horse got to have the shoes on. Couldn't say, man, like, slip them off real quick.
Now you see why.
That's tough.
That's why I told you to
His
prepare
hand
yourself.
was on the
resting on the
horse.
back of it.
And that's what.
Like Yellowstone.
That's why I was trying to prepare Dawn, but I figured she needed to do it now instead of later.
Man.
Yeah, I'm glad we got that.
Man, we appreciate y'all sharing that, man. Like, it's real out here, man. If you listening, hey, be safe, man. Be safe.
I'm never going outside in a storm ever again. This all started with, just to be safe, I don't shower in a lightning storm.
Yeah.
Now I'm not going to go to the bathroom. I'm not going to walk outside.
See?
I'm not going to do anything. It lightnings, I'm out. I'm done. I can't. You know what? We probably can't even. We should be working on these mics, these metal pieces.
Speaking of dead horses, let's go talk to Greg Cosell about the Colts.
Come on.
Yeah, you got to do yourself, huh?
I know.
Greg Cosell, NFL Films, best film breakdown guy ever. He's next.
You think there's any edge you had in that moment for not having practiced that play? It might be a stupid question, but
that's a great question.
For not having had the routine or knowing exactly where you're supposed to be, you're supposed to go.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if I've ever been asked that either. No, I don't know. I think what it was, to be honest with you, it was Buffalo. I think they were overzealous. I think they were. Yeah. It was a nip-tuck type game, back and forth, which we had led pretty much the whole game, and they took the lead. And I think their kickoff team was who's going to make a play, and I'm going to be the guy to make the play. And I think they just got overzealous and were trying to make a play, and you can't necessarily fault them for that. You know what I mean? I think, in a situation like that, for the most part, most guys are going to try to get down there and make a play. I want to be the one to make this tackle, get this energy back up. We're about to go on to the divisional round, you know what I mean? And I think that's what it was. Now, I've heard like the conversation between Phillips and DeHay, who the special teams coach, who ended up losing his job, and Phillips lost his job because he wouldn't fire him because it wasn't his fault. And I stand firm that that's not necessarily the coach's fault. That's players, you run your lane and you collapse late. And who cares if we get the ball at the 35? That's still only so many seconds left, to get in field goal range, and you take your chances, play the odds. Well, football players, sometimes I said football players got to be football players, and I feel like that was them trying to make a play, and they created a running lane to the outside, which is by far the worst thing you can do, obviously, but sometimes people try to make plays, and it's to your detriment when you do some things outside your assignment. As a coach, I tell my players, do your job first, then go make a play. And these guys went to go make the play first, and then they couldn't get back to their assignment. And, to our benefit, because it helped us get to the next game.
Back in 3HL 104.5, The Zone. Back to some substance here. Not that our lightning talk wasn't substance, but Greg Cosell, executive producer and analyst for NFL Matchup, and with NFL Films is with us. Hey, Cosell, how are you?
Slow day, Dawn, huh? Slow sports day.
So you know how it is. This is like your time for a vacation and to catch up on film, isn't it? We're like a month away from training camp.
I know. I just been jumping back and forth watching some college guys, some NFL stuff, whatever strikes my mood on any given day.
What are you watching right now?
Well, this morning I watched a wide receiver from Virginia, Dontavian Wicks.
Yeah.
I just actually finished watching, believe it or not, a ton of the Detroit Lions offense because they actually play the Eagles week 1. So I did that. And
Bless
then
your heart. You must need a drink.
Well, you learn a lot. Not that you'd be surprised, but you really do learn a lot. And the more I learn, the more I like. So we'll see. I'll watch. Let's see. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. I've been watching some wide receivers in college. Some quarterbacks. So I watched Bijan Robinson, the Texas running back.
Yeah. So I saw him early on because I worked a spring game. So that it doesn't really count. That's kind of like the only time I've seen him in person. I'm just curious your take.
I thought he was a smooth, fluid back. I thought he was a little bit one speed as opposed to explosive.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was naturally shifty or elusive. I didn't think he had higher level make you miss traits. I think what he has going for him is size. He's got excellent vision. He's got good balance. He's extremely fluid. I thought he was a good prospect. I didn't think, based on his 2021 tape, that he was a special prospect. Now, the thing that he does really have going for him is he's an excellent receiver. Now, I just watched his runs and his a whole bunch of runs and all his pass targets, so I can't speak to how he is as a blocker. Although they have another back there as well, Rashawn Johnson. And there were times they were both in the game together, and Robinson was asked to run block, and I thought he was committed to doing that. I couldn't speak to how he pass protects.
Perfect. Good stuff. Oh, I'm ready for the NFL season to start. Hey, speaking of the NFL, Cosell, we spent a lot of time yesterday talking about Baker Mayfield and his move. Obviously, a lot of that is he played injured last year. He's betting on himself. He took a $3.5 million pay cut and said, look, I'm going to go show that I'm the quarterback that I was 2 years ago when I took that team to the playoffs. So how does Baker Mayfield fit with the Carolina Panthers?
Well, based on film study of Baker, and I'm sure, nowadays, so many people base how they evaluate a player on analytics and numbers. And maybe those numbers are different than film study. That I can't speak to. I sit and watch tape. And my sense is, from watching Baker Mayfield as an NFL player, that he's at his best in an offense where play action is a meaningful part, where the run game is a meaningful foundation. You can get caught up in personnel packages. Personnel packages require far more study than just saying 11 personnel, 12 personnel, because you don't know how the players are lined up. You can play with 2 tight ends and be in a spread formation. You can play with 3 wide receivers and everything could be tight to the formation. So those kinds of numbers need a lot more context than just a number. But I think Baker's at his best where the run game's the foundation, which I believe is how Matt Rule would ideally like to play. Now, they have a new offensive coordinator this year in Ben McAdoo, so we don't know exactly how he will fit in. I know Matt Rule has always been a believer in the run game and playing some form of power football as the way to sort of establish your offense. Baker had a lot of success with the play-action pass game in Cleveland, so I would expect that that's what will happen in Carolina. And I don't think there's any question he'll be the starting quarterback.
Okay, with that contract being in center base, we were talking about earlier, me and Joe Hunt, with the money that Sam Darnold is being paid, you don't pull the cord on him early or give him a short leash, you think?
Well, what is the film show?
The film show as far as Sam Darnold. Yeah,
Sam Darnold. Like,
separating.
why do you say that it won't be Sam
Right.
Darnold from what he's put on film?
I think they know what Sam Darnold is, and I think that Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold.
Okay.
So I don't think. First of all, Carolina did not have to give up very much, and Cleveland is still paying part of his salary. So, Carolina is in a great position as far as making this move, but I don't think you trade for Baker Mayfield with the idea that there's going to be a meaningful competition. Sam Darnold has been a very erratic up and down quarterback. Why are you trading for Baker Mayfield if you're comfortable with Sam Darnold?
Right. Totally right.
Familiar situation. The Titans, 0 risk in the Tannehill thing a couple years ago, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's and Baker's just better. Look, for whatever reason, and Baker last year was hurt. If memory serves me correctly, they were in a ton of 3rd and long situations last year, which is tough for any quarterback. When Baker's a certain kind of quarterback, he's not a true mover. Does he have some movement ability? Yes, but at his core, he's a pocket quarterback. You can always get into that debate, which teams have in draft rooms, by the way, about 6-foot pocket quarterbacks. There have not been many in the NFL over the years that have been really high-level players. Obviously, Drew Brees comes to mind, but he's an exception, and he'll be a first-ballot Hall of Famer. But Baker's had success in this league. As I said, I think their hope is Christian McCaffrey will be healthy. They obviously signed Deontay Foreman for a reason. They did not like what Hubbard gave them as the second back. So if McCaffrey were to get hurt, I think based on what Foreman showed last year with Tennessee when Derrick Henry got hurt, they would probably feel pretty comfortable with Foreman, who's a big man, as you guys know, with Foreman being a foundation back for any number of weeks.
So we've been going down the AFC South, breaking down people, breaking down the teams. Now we finally have arrived to who a lot of people say outside of the Nashville media that this is who will win the AFC South. Indianapolis Colts, Cosell. So let's get to them. What's so different about them?
Quarterback, your favorite quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think this ain't nothing for me. This I'm gonna let Greg break Matt Ryan down because he's been on my bad list, the naughty list for me.
You're not a Matt Ryan guy?
I was coming into the NFL. I loved him in college. Loved him with everything leading up to the 28-3 debacle. And then I just haven't seen anything from him since. So that's my thing. I just don't see how he thrust him into a different stratosphere.
He's old.
Yeah.
He's older.
Even more so. Why
but he can still play.
Cosell, would you tell us?
I think Matt Ryan's still a good player.
Okay.
I think that his game was never built around arm strength or what you'd call exceptional arm talent. I think Matt Ryan is one of those guys that sees things really well. He's really good before the snap of the ball. He's an efficient player. I think in an ideal world, you want him to have a run game, which they clearly have in Indianapolis. They've got a few questions on their O-line. The left tackle position right now is probably an open competition. They did draft Bernard Raymond in the 3rd round. I don't think he'd probably be ready to start. So they might have to go with Matt Pryor, who's truly not a left tackle. So they may have a question or two on their O-line, which we didn't feel was the case, last year or the year before. So we'll see there. Obviously, the wide receiver position is a little bit of a work in progress right now because Paris Campbell has not been able to stay on the field. Alec Pierce was a 2nd-round pick. I really like Alec Pierce a lot. I think he'll be a really good player. As I've said many times, I didn't see on tape a huge difference between Alec Pierce and Drake London. So I think Alec Pierce will start for them and be a solid player. But we know it all starts with Jonathan Taylor. So barring any injuries or anything unforeseen, that's what their offense will be. And the play action pass game will be critical. And Matt Ryan will work off that. And I think in that context, he can be a very efficient quarterback.
So they're guys up front in the trenches, led by what? Ryan Kelly and Quentin Nelson. Is this group a group that carries you there? Is that what you have intact with Matt Ryan?
Well, I think, Slay, we have issues at left tackle and at right guard as we speak today. You know, whether they get worked out in a really positive way, we have all of training camp, you know, to get through. But I think that left tackle, as I said, they addressed it, but the player they drafted, Bernard Raymond, may not be ready. And at right guard, I think that's probably kind of a competition right now with a bunch of guys. So those two positions are important positions, obviously, and they need their offensive line to be a foundation of their offense, both with the run game with Jonathan Taylor and for protection with Matt Ryan. Because obviously you can do a lot of things in normal down and distance situations through scheme to help your O-line. But when you start getting to 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 9 and those situations, then your O-line's got to pass protect.
Yeah.
I know you're not into, you know, the numbers and from a standpoint of odds and, you know, rushing touchdowns, over, under, all of that. But you mentioned Jonathan Taylor, and him and Derrick Henry are basically slated for exactly the same when it comes to rushing touchdowns, similar in rushing yards. Are they similar in, I guess, how important they are to their offenses? Yes, but where is there a comparison there?
You mean between the two backs stylistically?
Yeah.
No, because Henry's a unique back, you know, because there are not 247, 250-pound backs who are, number one, built like that with waists that you could, you know, put your fingers around, and you know, there's just not a lot of guys like that. So Henry's different. You know, Taylor is a 225-pound back who's got great long speed, just like Henry does. But they're different. I would say Taylor is probably shiftier. Henry's game is not built on being shifty. He certainly doesn't have heavy feet, but he's not really a make you miss kind of back. Henry's really kind of unique. He's really strong, but not necessarily powerful, and there's a difference. In other words, what you see with Henry a lot is people get their hands on him for what looks like a 3-yard run, and he gets 8 yards. But you don't see Henry necessarily run over people. He's not that kind of back. But he's got great long speed, which is a rarity for a man that big. So I would say they're not necessarily that similar stylistically, just because Henry's so different and so unique in his running style.
Let me ask you this real quick, Greg. The defense, like when you go name for name, they strengthened the defense.
Yep.
They definitely did. So is this the bookmark for them? This what they depend on. You got Darius Leonard, you know, the list goes on and on. What do you see out of this defense? Was this the reason they didn't make the playoffs, or was it strictly that offense?
Slay, they got a different coordinator.
Okay.
Gus Bradley is totally different than the previous coordinator and Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus was really, really good on 3rd down with a lot of pressure packages, a lot of different coverages. That's where they made their hay on 3rd down. 1st and 2nd down under Matt Eberflus, they were very vanilla. But 3rd down, they were really good. Okay. Gus Bradley has been in the league a long time. People know what you're going to get. I would say overall, coaches tweak and adjust, no question. But overall, Gus Bradley's defenses are much more of an execution-based defense than a scheme-based defense. You know what you're going to get, and the question is, do they execute better than you do? Right. They've got pretty good players. You know, I think up front they're expecting more from Kwity Paye, a 2nd-year player. Right. They signed Yannick Ngakoue, who can really rush the quarterback. We know Leonard and Okereke are really good linebackers. Okereke's someone who's not talked about a lot because Leonard's so good, but Okereke's really good. They probably believe they upgraded in the secondary with Rodney McLeod and with Stephon Gilmore. Kenny Moore is as good a nickel slot corner as there is in the league. So they have good players. You know, it's just a different defense, so it's a learning curve.
The film still show on Stephon Gilmore he can get it done?
I don't think he's as good as he was 3 or 4 years ago, but he's still good.
Right, okay.
And he probably won't be asked to play as much pure man as he was asked to play in New England.
Okay, all right. Appreciate that, Greg.
Good stuff. Real quick, Cosell, on the way out, I know we talked about the Panthers and Baker, but how about what he left in the Browns and assuming it's going to be Jacoby Brissett? I loved him in college, coming out of college. Yeah. What does he look like now?
Yeah, I liked him too. And I think the problem that he's always faced on is he's just indecisive. I don't know whether he doesn't see things clearly. Only he could tell you that because you don't know what's in someone's head. But he gets stuck in the pocket a lot. And that's been one of the real negatives in his career, why I think he's never really become a true quality starting quarterback, because he just gets stuck in the pocket and doesn't deliver the football. And he's a big kid with a good arm, has excellent mobility. You can go back when he was with Indianapolis, the year he started, when they were sort of in that, I think, was he the starter? He was the starter for almost a full season one year. I can't remember when that was. And he made some throws where you'd go, wow. And he has that kind of ability. But there's an inconsistency to his game. And my sense from watching tape is he just doesn't see things the way you need to, with the speed you need to, with the clarity you need to. And I think that's really the reason he's essentially become a career backup.
Interesting. I wonder if he overthinks it. That spending.
Will be possible.
Yeah, and spending a little bit of time with him, I could see that being an issue.
He's a really good kid. I mean, he's one of those guys that you just love. Everybody, likes the kid. He's a leader type. But he just has not been able to make a name for himself as a true starting quarterback in this league.
I always tell the story. He used to bake cookies, not just, like I bake them where I just cut them up from the little package. He would home bake cookies for his offensive line back in college.
I buy them.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, good call, Cosell. I act like I bake them, All right, Greg Cosell, there you go. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And we can't wait. Next week, we'll start getting closer to camp here and really start breaking down some real film. Thanks, Cosell.
All right, guys. Thanks.
That was great.
All right, there you go. Greg Cosell. NFL Films. Can we just call him the GOAT from now on? Yeah. If you want to hit him on Twitter, at Greg Cosell is his Twitter handle. NFL Matchup, executive producer, analyst. I guess that comes back. That's why he was talking about Philly too. That comes back here soon. And then, of course, senior producer at NFL Films. He's been there for 43 years.
Right.
The best.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
Greg Cosell. We will wrap up the 4 o'clock hour coming up after this. Stick around.
I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Banks are great for car loans, but when you need a home loan, you need an expert. We'll get you pre-approved the day you call in, lower rates, and with our 21-day closing guarantee, you'll be in your dream home in weeks.
Well, hey, welcome back into 3HL, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that was a good conversation for me and Babsy and Joe Hunk behind the glass. Greg Cosell, thank you for coming in NFL Films. Really, really good conversation. Listen, we ran through the whole AFC South the last 4 weeks. Yep. So you should have everything on your table and ready to roll with it. So when we get ready to go another weekend, it's time to get to the Titans and break it all down. New additions and whatever else may come down the chimney for us when it comes to signings or whatever else. And the Euro will be back too, so he'll probably take us down the chimney. But outside of that, we've been talking with Dennis Dodd today about the college football landscape. And also talking about Lightning. You've been calling in, sharing your stories, 615-737-1045. We appreciate that. Also, everybody in the chat that has been active, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
So continue sharing your stories throughout the show. We got Ramon Foster, Savagery, coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. That's right. Yeah. So we do have people on the line. Let me Let me say this. We love your stories. You know what I'm saying? And we want you to tell us all your stories. You know what I mean? Truth all the way through. Man, some of them are kind of sad, though. You're like, y'all, hey, man.
We got a lot of animal death.
Yeah.
Here. PETA is going to hate us for the last 2 days.
Man, I'm really looking for, I'm entertained by the funny stories where nobody really got hurt, or maybe they got electrocuted and they were all right after. You know, like they had the rubber boots on. It wasn't touching on the horse, on the back of the horse. And
see what you did.
That didn't go well. Yeah, but anyway.
That didn't go well.
That's right. So, but we do have who we got on the line?
Eric and Dixon.
Eric and Dixon. Let's get to Eric and Dixon and let's see if Eric, you have an uplifting lightning story, if that is such a thing.
It is uplifting.
See, I knew it.
Heard, thankfully.
There we go.
But so I grew up in a really small town in Ohio, and at our house in the neighborhood, there were probably 7 or 8 houses around ours. At the top of the electric pole, right at the corner of our house, was the transformer for, of course, that neighborhood where the electricity went out to everybody. And during a storm one time, lightning struck that transformer. And my mom swore she thought the house had exploded. Something had gone off. I mean, it was the brightest flash of lightning flash of light I've ever seen. And it completely pulverized that electric pole down to about 6 feet of the ground. It looked like somebody, when somebody takes a cigarette and puts it out.
Yeah.
The end. That's all it was left of the electric pole.
What? That's crazy.
Here's the crazy part, though. So, everybody in my town, everybody knew everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so people came by to check on us and see how we were and everything. And they came in the next day and put up a new transformer and everything. But for the next 2 to 3 weeks, we had neighbors coming by and bringing us pieces of the transformer that had landed in their yard.
Wow.
Some of the neighbors lived over 2 miles away.
Wow.
And we took pieces of the transformer and reconstructed it down in the little shed we had where we kept the wood for the stove. And we reconstructed about half of the transformer when they brought us the pieces and put it back together.
Oh,
dude, that's
my
crazy.
Gosh.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'll never forget that. But thankfully, nobody got hurt. And
good.
Life went on, but I'll never forget that. So,
all right, man. Appreciate
enjoy
it.
the show. Appreciate it.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks, Eric.
Man, see, that's
that was
that's
fascinating.
Yeah, that is man. Now I'm gonna look at the Wizard of Oz a little bit differently now.
Right.
With the tornado and the lightning. I'm just surprised she didn't get hit by the lightning. Just tornado. You know what? When you're talking about things like that, I was in a tornado, not inside the tornado, but it did. Okay, let me explain this.
I'm like, where?
So I was supposed to be in school.
How old were you?
I was 15 at the time.
Oh, dear.
Me and my partner, we went over to his grandmother's house to get something to eat during lunch. come, and so we're sitting outside.
Did you start out at school and then you left?
Yeah, we
and
left.
You went to get lunch.
Yeah, and then we went back. We ended up
and
going
you
back.
Were going
yeah.
back. Okay.
But I think this tornado, this was a sign that was telling us, hey, man, y'all better hurry up and get back to school. So we were sitting in his car, my boy Kendall Hoskins. We sitting in his car outside his grandmother's house in North Nashville, and you see the clouds and everything changing, and they like, it's, tornado watch. We're 15 years old. Kids ain't studying these lightning stories or none of this. This is just
they
for
are
adults.
now if they're listening to us.
Yeah, this is true. And they should be. Somebody should explain this to me then. But the tornado touched down, picked up a car that was directly across the street. Just picked it up, probably about 4 or 5 feet off the ground, and set it right back down. Man, my partner looked at each other and said, hey, man, let's get back to school, dog. Like, we ain't supposed to be out here, man. Like, we ain't even gonna be able to explain this to nobody. But that was my close encounter with the tornado. Picked the car up, didn't move it.
And then did it go back up?
It picked it straight up off the ground, about 4 or 5 feet, and set it right back down in the exact same spot. I'll never forget it. Right there off Buchanan. I'll never forget it. Yeah. So that was my tornado encounter.
No.
That's what I don't play with is some tornadoes. I don't watch too many movies.
Play with lightning either, apparently.
Yeah, I'm learning that today.
So bear with me. I had a shed fly through my house from a tornado.
That was last month.
New Year's Day.
Yeah,
New
I was
Year's
like,
Day.
this was a couple of months ago. Has insurance finally taken care of everything?
By the way, we're still walking around on cardboard in the bedroom because the carpet hasn't gotten fixed yet.
What?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, we're still waiting on the flooring company to call us back so that we can get the flooring.
See, they need to get on it. Come on, y'all. Y'all get on it now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some supply chain issues, right?
It is.
Yeah, no, I think that's part of the reason why. Because the company's out of Atlanta, and so yeah. So I feel you on the tornadoes.
Oh man, huh?
About that.
Hey, by the way,
yard is green now because I've cleared it all out of the backyard.
Well, there you go.
Candy just said tornado of 1998. I think you're right. I think you're right. Yep, I think she's right. You are right. It was, but I want to say it was in like the spring. Man, there you see. There you go.
From 2006 through 2021, there were 444 lightning strike deaths in the United States.
Wow, Babs.
How about this? Males
I'll see. Yep, see.
are 4 times more likely than females to be struck by lightning. 4 times more likely.
Here we go, y'all.
The average age of a person struck by lightning is 37 years old, and about 1/3 of lightning injuries occur indoors.
What?
Oh, heck no. Get me out of this conversation.
You wake up every day, there's something new. Now there's potential Big 12 wanting to add 6 teams really fast. There's the Pac-12 having a conversation with the ACC about forming some kind of an alignment. There's the Big 10 looking hard, obviously, at Notre Dame and having to make a decision quickly on Oregon and Washington. The SEC is just kind of sitting back, but you know that they have something planned as well. How bonkers is this from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, first reaction, old man in me hates it because regionalization is what made college football special. I think, all of this. I saw a post from a West Virginia fan earlier this week, or I guess it was late last week, that talked about, they didn't have a choice because their conference blew up, but they went to the Big 12, and now they have no rivals. Their program has no juice because they don't play any games that their fans look forward to every year. I mean, yeah, it's cool that Oklahoma comes out there. It's cool that, you get to play Oklahoma State and Texas and schools like that, but they want to play Pittsburgh and Virginia Tech and Miami, and they don't do that anymore. And so for a lot of West Virginia fans, sports don't mean nearly as much as they used to because the thing that differentiates college sports from everything else is rivalries. Mm-hmm. And when you take those rivalries away, it means less to people. It means less to people that watch on TV, that give you money, that come to your stadium. So college football's got to be careful because NASCAR did this. NASCAR went away from tracks that were well supported because, well, the North Carolina and Virginia markets are too saturated. Okay, that's great, but those tracks were selling out, so you could go to Kansas and you could go to California, and all that was in theory great for the growth of the sport, but it killed off what made it special. And college football is going to be very careful about that here in the next little bit.
Yeah, to that point about the rivalries, like the biggest rivalries amongst the biggest brand schools, for the most part, are going to be safe, right? If Notre Dame goes to the Big Ten, Notre Dame, USC are still going to play. Even if Notre Dame stays independent, I imagine that one sticks around because that one's big enough and the brands are big enough. But to that point, the West Virginias of the world, the ones that are maybe a step below, they're the ones whose rivalries are probably in the most trouble because you can't please everybody. The more convoluted the scheduling process has to become, the closer we get to AFC, NFC, or AFL, NFL, however this thing is going to shake out, there are going to be casualties, and they're going to be casualties of tradition.
Yeah, Washington State. Okay, the reports are that, Washington's an expansion target, and Oregon is. And, okay, so what happens to Oregon State? Does that still get played? If you're playing in a conference that plays 12 games and 10 or 11 of them are in conference, are you going to play Oregon State for your 12th game? I don't know that the answer is yes. You asked about the SEC, and I never answered your question, and I'm sorry about that. I think the SEC is sitting back to see how stable the ACC really is, because I don't think it makes any sense for the SEC to take any teams that aren't currently in a conference not named the ACC. So is the ACC stable? Could the ACC land Notre Dame? Could the ACC land a couple other schools where they would clearly be the third best conference, but they would still be a conference? I think that's the question.
Welcome back, 3HL on 104.5 The Zone. It's 5 o'clock, people, on a Thursday, 5 o'clock hour. That means your work week is almost done. Maybe you're on the road. Maybe you're heading home. Take a deep breath, because you are there.
Yes, you are.
He's Ron Slay.
Hey, what's happening?
This kind got no room. This kind got no room.
Nope.
Joe Hunk's behind the glass, and I'm Dawn Davenport.
Good old reputation.
Oh, that song makes me happy.
What up, Joan?
Hey, Joan. Hey, Joan, we missed you. Missed your appearance on our show.
Gladly welcome your goodie bag for Babsy, though.
Real quick, congratulations to the Yossi family.
Woo.
And the Preds family, because there is a new little Preds fan, the birth of their beautiful baby girl. Baby girl.
Okay.
Congratulations to the Yossi family.
Congrats. That's good people. A little Yossi.
A little mini Yossi gets to wear
Was it a
pink.
girl? It was a girl.
It's a girl, yeah.
Is Yoshi a girl name?
Yossi?
Yoshi.
She can't be Yossi.
I think she can be.
No.
I like it like that. I think that'll be pretty cool, Babsy. Like Yoshi.
This is why you probably weren't allowed to name Lil Ron.
Nope. Bring him Lil Ron. I thought that was a cool name in my head.
What other news do we have today? Tennessee with a big 4-star poll. A 4-star? Is that what it was?
Babsy, some people say 4 stars, some people say 5 stars. I'll lean more to the 5-star because it looks better.
Okay.
Cameron Seldon from Heathsville, Virginia, beat out Maryland and Penn State to go get this commit. And he is a wide receiver, dual threat, triple threat, really, offensive player. So just keep your eyes open for him. A big time grab for a system that Hyper likes to run. We can get guys to do more things.
You can utilize him. He can run the football.
Yes.
He can catch the football. You can utilize him
decoy.
Bunch of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's a big get for Tennessee.
Yes, indeed.
Other news on the day earlier. We were all up in arms, not up in arms, but our chat was firing because the news came across that somebody broke on Twitter that Carolina, Clemson, FSU, and Virginia would leave the ACC and were joining the SEC. That has since been debunked. Is debunked the right word?
I think so.
Okay.
That is so bunk.
So it is not
Debunked.
true. That is bunk.
Yep.
Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to be true in 2 years,
Right.
honestly.
Right.
But as of right now, that's not happening. We had Dennis Dodd on earlier, and he was talking about those ACC contracts in Notre Dame, and that year was 2036.
14 years from now.
14 years is the kind of contract. Because he pointed out, with Oklahoma and Texas, it was a lot easier because they had 4 years left on that contract.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
So it's kind of a different conversation when you're looking at 4 as to 14,
Huge difference.
Just from a standpoint of breaking out of that contract.
Right.
So we'll see. The reports are out. The Big 12 is trying to poach part of the Pac-12. Who knows? I think that this is going to be ever shifting in the next couple of months. And we go to SEC Media Days in 2 weeks?
Yep.
Yes.
So we'll see what Greg Sankey has to say. I'm sure he always likes to drop some bombs. You remember last year, though?
Yes.
This bomb was dropped on him during SEC Media Days.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
What else? There was something else we were hounding him about, too.
It was quite a bit.
He shut us down.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I can't
But he
remember.
did come right away to us to do the interview.
Yep.
Um,
Even after all that stuff started breaking,
Sure
he
did.
just didn't
Yep.
address it then.
and he was so calm in the midst of everything, and everybody around him was texting and grabbing earpieces, all the people that were with him. But he was just so
You
calm.
can't What?
I was about to say, did it have to do with Lane Kiffin and how much in his talking in the offseason? It felt like it was something like that where Slay tried to throw out you tried to throw out a hypothetical to him just to get him to answer, and he still
I think it was
down.
Babsy. I think Babsy backdoored the question, and he was like, in his exact words were, "You're really good at your job."
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
that's
he,
right.
And then he
Yeah.
detoured
But
on
not
it.
that good.
Yeah, but
'cause I'm
not
not
that good.
answering
Yeah.
you.
It was something around
I
there,
feel like
though.
it was a Lane Kiffin thing.
It was something around there.
I'm
It was
like,
something around
he's
there.
just better at his job, is what it comes down to. Which, I mean, you can't. I mean, he has been on top of everything. And there's a reason the SEC, it just means more. Greg Sankey has made sure that he has protected his conference, his teams from the get-go. And the Texas-Oklahoma expansion, I mean, that started all the balls rolling here. I mean, it would have happened eventually, but you have to admit that it kind of pushed things along as to what we're seeing now, and that's USC and UCLA leaving their alliance. You know, the handshake alliance,
right?
And leaving the Pac-12. So,
Very much so.
I'm curious to hear what Ramon Foster has to say about it. Vol for life. He's on our morning show. He's going to join us here after the break. Before we get there, let's go ahead and clear some of these phone lines because we'll spend a whole segment with Ramon. And let's check in with Joseph in Nashville. Hey, Joseph, what you got?
Yes, this is directed for Ron Slay.
Yes, sir.
Y'all were talking about the tornado, and you said Buchanan Street. Now, I'm wondering, is that the one in Nashville?
Yeah, Buchanan over out in North Nashville. Yep, correct.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Nashville, and I used to hang out down there. We call it Buchanan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you better believe it.
Okay. Down in the bottoms down there, Gus and Son.
Gus Church, go get your Gus burger, baby. You better know it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I know. Oh, now him and Junior. Now Junior claims he's taught you everything about basketball
And
there
he
ever was.
Hey man, listen. Anything he claimed, I'm gonna stamp it. That's solidified that it's true. I had a lot of people help raise me, man, and I consider him as a father for me. Junior Church, yeah, without question, no question about it.
I'm glad you said that because I didn't want to get into the family part of it, but that's what he said. He said he claimed you as his son.
Yeah.
And I've had several Gus burgers.
Woo!
And yeah, that brings back some memories.
Yes, it
did. I ain't lying. Now, I lost. You played here in Nashville, but you moved out of state in high school, right?
Yeah, my senior year. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought I knew one year you played out of state,
Yep.
but I enjoyed every minute you played for the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah.
And man, I just ever since you've been on the radio, I thought about Junior.
Yeah.
And him claiming you.
Yep.
Telling me he showed you everything about it. He claims you as his son and everything. I didn't want to get into it until you said that. But
Oh yeah, no, I'm 100% claiming that, man. I learned right there, back there in the bottom behind the store where they had that basketball goal up there. That was one of my first dunks on that goal back there. Yep.
Well, I had a delivery route, and I used to go down there and deliver to. And when I got off work, I'd go back down there and just hang out.
Yeah, yep, that was the spot to be at.
They good people, man. But ever since I heard you on the radio, I just had to ask you, and finally come around to it. When you said Buchanan Street,
Yep.
you said Buchanan. I'm calling it Buchanan.
Now that was right.
Buzz Corner Market right there.
Yeah.
I just passed Ed's Fish and Pieces still down there.
Yep, that's it. Pincus Car Wash right down the street. Yeah, all that. Yes, sir.
All right, it was good to talk to you, man, and I enjoyed every minute you played up there in Knoxville, and I just had to see if you knew about Gus and Gus Berger, and it's all true.
It's
so
all true.
Good.
Solidified. Appreciate it, brother. My man. Hey, man, yeah. The bottom. I'm telling you, listen, y'all. I'm telling y'all, man, you got a Nashville, you got a Tennessee mutt and a Nashville mutt sitting right here. I'm telling you. From all sides, man, the bottom out south, man. I mean, out north, man. You know what it is. Over by Dodge City, out north Buchanan. See, I'd say Buchanan on here because everybody might not know, but it's Buchanan. You're exactly right. Yeah, man. So shout out to everybody over there, man. I know that's what's up. My people. Junior, what up, baby? Oh.
That's what
Babsy,
I'm like, wait.
you ain't never had a burger in your life till you had a Gus burger. I'm gonna have to get, you know what? I'm gonna swing by there and tell them to make one, and I'm gonna bring you a Gus burger.
Perfect.
Phenomenal.
Make four.
Yes.
Four. There's gonna be four. Well, crap, you guys aren't gonna be here tomorrow, so I can't say do it tomorrow.
Oh,
Junior,
we'll
my
do it
pops, baby. I got
Monday.
There's
Make
only
four.
a couple I claim as my pops, man. Junior's one, Will the other. Like it's only about 2 or 3, man. You know what I mean? It's out there. So yeah,
all right.
man.
Gus Burger it is coming up. We got Big Savagery, Ramon Foster coming up after the break. Stick around. What is your take on how NIL might change the college football playoff landscape?
Well, I think first of all, Dylan, I think you're going to get your wish. It's going to expand. Now,
yeah,
it doesn't look like contractually they're going to be able to until the TV contract or the current contract is up, which is what, 25, 26. But it's going to expand, and I look for it to go to 12. I think they'll figure it out, and all the squabbling about automatic bursts, that kind of thing. But your question is a great one, because I think over these next few years, before it does expand, you're going to see teams doing anything and everything in the NIL environment to try to close the gap. And as someone pointed out to me, someone who's been around college athletics for a long time and is a lot smarter than I am recently, the schools out there right now, reportedly, not reportedly, we've seen stories about them, that seem to be most aggressive in the world of NIL, even in the realm of paying high school kids and setting up deals with high school kids, which quote unquote is not supposed to be legal. Of course, you tell me what's legal and what's not legal right now. I don't think anybody knows. But who are those schools? Miami, USC, Texas, Tennessee, Florida State, Texas A&M. What do all those schools have in common? Schools that are rich and deep in tradition, schools that have won titles over the last 20, 25 plus years, but schools that haven't been very good recently and haven't been in that upper tier, teams that have played for championships or won championships, but certainly teams that have the resources and have proven over the past that they can do that. Those are the schools right now that seem to be the most aggressive during this, whether you want to call it a loophole, or during this time where everyone's trying to figure out what the NIL is, what it's not, what the NCAA is going to allow, what it's not, if the NCAA even has the teeth to monitor this. But during this loophole, those schools are doing anything and everything they can to pull in great players and use the NIL to sort of close that gap.
Welcome back in 3HL and 104.5 The Zone. Dawn Davenport, Ron Slay. Mayor is back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. He will be rested from his assignment and ready to go.
Ready to roll. We putting it on his shoulders, too.
Yes. You have no idea. I feel like you're back, Mayor.
Welcome back, big guy.
I'm not saying catch us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube.
Twitch,
please. I'm not doing any of that. That's all him. I'm not doing breaks, nothing. I'm not doing nothing.
Feet's just going to be kicked up on the table at Bronze
That's right.
Motorsports.
That's
It's
right.
all
Back,
you,
Mayor.
bro.
I'm going to be like, y'all good? I'm going to hit the food truck. We are live at Bryan Motorsports tomorrow, and we will be out there from 3 to 6. Now, the actual party with all the food trucks and all that starts at 5, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So come on out. They'll have music. Visit with us. You don't have anything to do Friday? Well, now
right.
you do.
Yes, you do.
You get to go to Humble Hendersonville.
Yep.
Speaking of Humble Hendersonville, we got a guy that lives there.
Yes,
Savagery. Ramon Foster.
Who the hell are you?
Ramon. You know. Say my name. Ramon.
You what? Say my name. I don't have a damn clue who the hell you are.
Yeah, you do. Do you respect the bad guy? Ramon.
Yeah,
Ramon.
There you go. Ramon
There he is.
in the building. Hi. What up, Savagery?
Not much, man. Hearing some of these thunderstorm stories, and I like the song that came on too. And yes, Don, I will agree. Brent has been lacking for a while, okay? So y'all deserve to kick back, hang back, and let him just roll because his lungs should be good. His jaw should be fine. His mental should be fine. He should be ready to rock. And I'm with you at the food truck, Dad.
There you go. See? He feels me.
Hey, and let's say this. We're going out to Bryan Motorsports, man. Like, you really, like, I've been stamping them, but these your guys right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling everybody, man, like, you see a lot of people that are behind the scenes and don't really come out and greet the clients, greet the guests and whatever, but these some laid-back guys, man, that's really down to earth. You can speak more to who Bryan Motorsports are, though.
Man, no doubt. A great guy, first and foremost, man. I tell people, like, I have, gone to other car places and stuff like that, and I've met some good people.
Right.
Y'all know, like, I know, like, customizing your car, getting something done to your car, like, you can leave there like, did I just get work?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With Brian, it ain't like that because he makes it very personal to you. He makes it to where you feel comfortable spending, number one. And you know this, too. Like, I've had, like, lifts on my truck. And I trust the work because the last thing that I want is for me to be riding down the road and my lift fall off the edge because it was some bad work because you just wanted to do a cheap job on it. You won't get that with Brian, man. He's a friend of mine, like legitimately a friend of mine. If I need something, I could call him. But it ain't just me. It's other people that's been in that situation also to where he's just delivered on everything he said. And even on the personal front, he's just been A1 and solid. I know him, his wife, his kids, his daughter, like his son, like he and you gotta love this too. A person that's invested in their community, from the schools, from the city, from their business to you. You kind of feel that when you walk into their place.
Are you coming out tomorrow?
Babs, is water wet? Okay.
I figured you might swing by since we're in your neck of the woods.
He ain't got no choice.
Absolutely, and it's a truck show. Like I got to get mine cleaned up before I present it to everybody because my trucks look like a mess right now. But Brian did mine. I got the floater cap on it. I know they don't want to know this on this station, but I got a 73 with the Steelers emblem on it, and they did all that stuff. I love it.
Hey, you know what? You spent almost a decade there. I guess we're okay with it.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. So we have talked a lot about college football expansion the last week with news breaking every day. What was your initial reaction on the USC UCLA as far as how it will kind of affect the rest of the college football landscape and the SEC and eventually Tennessee?
Sheesh. That's very interesting. I heard y'all talking about it earlier. And it's funny you asked that because Ron Dardo, who everybody thinks isn't real, and myself was sitting on the back porch, and we were kind of going through Rivals Top 100 recruiting classes as far as, their ranking. And we went all the way back to my year, 2004. We went to 2003. We went all the way back to 2001, just trying to get name recognition. And what was so crazy about it was just the magnitude, I guess the volume of USC commitments. Kids from the Pac-12 that were staying there. It was so many names that were going to USC because they were the school. And it's a shame that the Pac-12 is kind of Pac-10 when we were in school has kind of gotten to that point to where they just falling off. And maybe it's the late games that kind of get them, but USC hasn't been that great as of late. And UCLA had either, but their name, they are a brand. And for them to have to leave the Pac-12 to go to the Big Ten, man, it's kind of one of those situations where it lets you realize that business trumps everything. But on the other side of it is what's going to be the identity of those two teams? That's what got me. I knew whenever I was scouting a guy in the NFL, he's a Big Ten guy. He's going to be a big mauler. Right. He plays a certain type of way. Like Le'Veon Bell's a Big Ten running back. Well, guess what? He's downhill. He's shifty. He's not a breakaway speed type of guy. But on the West Coast, you look at they're usually, I'd say, thinner players. They're faster. They're through the air. They make exciting plays. Whenever they were going up against a team from the SEC, we'd be like, we're going to kick their you-know-what, because they don't train the way SEC teams do. So I'm looking at what type of brand UCLA and USC is going to turn into, considering they're going to the Big Ten. And I think you guys know what I mean by saying, they are, it's a style that the Big Ten
and you have to play differently. Yeah.
Yeah, you do. But, again, the almighty dollar speaks, Babs, and I got to feel like USC and UCLA feel like, man, we're holding up our end and y'all breaking our back because they're irrelevant in a sense.
Now, let me ask you this, Savage. We were also talking with that. We were I kind of reached over with you being involved in NFLPA, knowing the inner workings and things of that nature, with the NIL being such a big, I guess you can say, motivator to keep you intact as far as what school you're going to and what school you'll stay at. Does that bleed over into the NFL a little bit and to start affecting guys that are undrafted guys and guys maybe that's going in that 5th, 6th, later rounds of the NFL draft? Will it have any direct effect on that, or no? Will it always be able to be a separate entity than it is with college football?
Yeah, I heard you bring that up, man. As far as if I got $2 million still on the table because I signed for $7 million 3 years ago, why would I leave if I got a 5th round grade back?
Right.
We used to joke, this is the thing, there's the old joke that if we had a Florida player, Alabama player, Georgia, or something like that, man, you took a pay cut to come play in the NFL.
Yeah.
Well, that's the case. That might be the case, and it might be in their better interest to kind of stay, to get that last year, because I'm sure these contracts that they're signing now, because that's what they are, these contracts that they're signing now will probably be worth more than some rookie deals. And this is the point maybe where the NFL and the NFLPA got to get to that point, and they are. I think within the next couple of years, the rookie minimum will be about $1 million. That's rookie minimum as far as guys going into the league. But that's that price simply because nobody's ever just gotten paid up front the way these guys are getting paid.
Right.
So because of that, a guy who got a 5th round grade back that came out as a 5-star to the University of Alabama might be in his best interest to stay to collect the rest of his NIL deal and try to, increase his value as far as the draft goes next year. That legitimately might be the conversation. Man, I took a pay cut to come play with y'all. But again, there is no money that's going to be paid out in that abundance the way the NFL will eventually get you to. But I won't blame a guy for sticking back. To push the NFL to say, hey, these college athletes are making, some of them, because it ain't everybody.
Right.
Some of them are making about $1.2 million this year, and your minimum is only $1 million. I'm taking a $200,000 cut just to come play in your league. I don't think they're ever going to force the NFL's hand. the NFL is going to look at this in NFLPA and say, hey, that's a y'all problem.
Mhm.
Nobody told you to pay these kids this type of money. But with the TV deals that they are and with these collectives, I think I said it's a billionaire in Miami that's pretty much just trying to run the table the same way that A&M did last year. But 5 stars, you can't fight that when an individual says, I'm going to commit to paying you $2.5 million a year per year that you stay here. That's a hard ask to try to get the NFL to do that. They tell you, hey, we'll see you when you see you, and hopefully you'll pan out in NFL. But that is a very serious question, though, Savage, when it comes down to saying, hey, do you want to go to the NFL as a 5th, 6th rounder, or you want to collect this $1.2 million in your last year? Because no matter if you're a 5th or 6th rounder in college, you're still more productive as a, let's say, junior or senior than you are as a rookie going into the NFL.
Right. Totally right on that, man. Now I got to have a little conversation with you now, man, since me and my dog, me and my dog and Babs are just sitting in here. We in the car just rapping, just having a good time, man. Man, they kind of hard on the Savage, man, when it comes to, 4th of July and, the shenanigans that we like to go through. Babs she put me on probation this year, Savage. So,
you did?
Yeah, that's why I couldn't make it over to the house, man.
Because he almost lost his knee last year.
She told me,
you
know what I
guys
mean?
in your fireworks.
I was on probation. So will you explain to Babsy, man, how safe we are now, man, like with the precautions we taking for this?
Babsy, let me tell you this. We are very safe because there's kids around. I actually introduced a kid in my neighborhood to lighting fireworks this weekend. And Ron, let me tell you, you missed a genuine moment, man.
See?
I'll say this, though. He did say, my mom would never let me do this. I said, well, you with Uncle Mo, okay?
Yeah.
So, Babs, there's like tons of kids around, and I don't even know where all these kids are coming from, okay? I'll just throw that out there. Young kids, this kid might have been like 10, 12 years old, and he never lit fireworks before. So we're that safe. Like, he lit it, and I was like, you better run. And he sprinted away.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, yeah, that sounds safe. Great. I'm sending baby Babs right over.
No, listen to me. Ron, I can't lie. I wanted you there so bad because it was so genuine.
Yeah.
It was such a great. I'm telling you, if we continue to do this, Babs, you're going to leave that palatial of yours in Williamson County, and you're going to come out here to humble Hendersonville and watch us put on this show. There was some people around. Listen, it ain't just young people. It's old people. It's middle-aged people. It's young adults like myself. And they can't, and you know what they say? They say, Ramon, I think your fireworks show was better than the city.
See?
Gosh, don't tell me that. We're never going.
We're never
I mean,
going.
you know what I got baby Babs? I got her the glow sticks that you break and then they light up. Those were her fireworks.
See, now, Babs, you're wrong for that.
Just
because
depriving
if she come to Uncle Moan, she's going to get a sparkler in her hand. And I'm going to tell her, don't touch that piece. You got to stay down here and just wave it around.
No.
My boy going to give her the instructions and everything. Hey, that's what make it real. Savage, go ahead.
Listen real quick, though.
Talk to
it
me.
was so nice this year, though. We might end up getting sponsored. Like, that's how big it got.
Oh, geez.
Oh.
This is getting out of hand.
No, we all for that now.
And we got a permit from the fire department so that we could. So we're above board, Babs. This ain't no bootlegging stuff around here.
Yeah.
You got a permit?
We ain't playing no more, Babs.
You had so many that you had a permit?
We ain't playing no more.
Yeah. Hey, that's how we get down in humble Hendersonville, okay?
Gosh.
This is the show, baby.
That ain't humble.
It is the show going down, man. Savage, man, we appreciate you, man, sliding in, man. You and J Mark getting it down, and Shave getting down tomorrow, man. See you guys about 6 a.m. somewhere between 8 a.m. and 10 for me, though. But,
Yeah, I know.
It's Friday. It's Friday.
It is Friday, okay? Bam. Come join us. The barbecue was awesome. The environment, there's like 5 people in my neighborhood with pools. They can't wait.
That was a shot at my backyard project, wasn't it? I know you.
No, I know.
Uh-huh. All right. See you, savagery. I know exactly what he was doing. We'll see you tomorrow at Brian's Motorsports, where we will be live.
Hey, you know what, Babs, before we get out the break, can I mention this real quick? I got to ask you.
Sure.
Hey, man, y'all got to tune in, man. Let me find out today is. what the day is. So
You research this before you ask if you
yeah,
can talk
I know.
about it.
I know,
Thank you,
y'all.
Hunk.
I know. I
Thank
know.
you.
I messed up. All right, I messed up. Okay, but I got
All
it.
right. We're forgiving.
Brooklyn Bowl. Brooklyn Bowl. What is it? A split?
Oh,
Yeah,
split
see?
happens.
Yeah, split happens.
You're
with
talking
Buck
about
Rising.
Buck's event.
Yeah, Buck Rising got an event coming up, man.
Yeah. Well,
July 20th.
It's when we're in Atlanta for SEC
It
Media
is.
Days. By
Yep.
the way, SEC Media Days are in Atlanta this year for the first time. Well, I guess first time in a long time, right?
Yep. I found it. 104.5 The Zone brings you Bucks Rising Split Happens Bowling Bash at Brooklyn Bowl in Nashville, Wednesday, July 20th, benefiting the church at Mount Carmel's. Some people say Caramels, some people say Carmel. Mount Carmel.
See, this is why he should have
use
read it
summer
before
camp.
he
That's
asked
right.
it.
It's Mount Carmel, because if it was Mount Caramel, it would be candy.
Yeah, but it might be for the summer camp.
Well,
Must be 21 and up.
It's for a good cause.
It is
Great
for a good
cause,
cause.
yes.
And you got a lot of people coming in, man, that you'll be really, really happy to see.
And you can beat Buck in
bowling, yeah.
Which
'Cause I would've got over there and spanked him.
who doesn't always want to beat Buck in something?
Yeah, so tap in, go to 1045thezone.com and on the Twitter site, man, you can go get tickets.
I'm really upset.
I'm hot about it. I'll text him immediately.
I know. Slay was like, I would have brought my funnel.
Yeah, I
Like,
would have been out there
okay.
getting fried.
No, I would have brought my bowling ball and bowling shoes and
We
beat
would've won.
everybody.
Yeah, we getting shirts made next year too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Guys, I will represent us. Remember,
You're
I'm
here.
I'm left behind here.
Oh,
okay?
yeah, go hold us down,
I
huh?
can
No.
represent.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, don't hold us down.
Are you a good bowler?
Normally, it's about 150 to 200. Is that okay?
That ain't bad.
I mean, that's
solid.
not bad.
That's
Okay,
solid,
you can
especially in a
represent us.
celebrity event.
Yeah, you can represent us. You're good.
I mean, I don't go between my legs just like, ooh, go. Like, I don't need bumpers.
I hope not.
All right. I mean, as long as you don't embarrass us.
Yeah, I think we'll be good.
I'll do good.
Hold us
If
down,
you
huh?
believe in me, I will believe in you.
Yeah,
Believe in me so that I can believe. Just come on.
All right.
All right. We'll get you a shirt, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wrapping up the 5 o'clock hour right after this.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. Is it time for some updates around the house? Last year, our average client received over $52,000 with a simple cash-out refinance. Let's make those home remodeling projects a reality. Start now at thehomeloanexpert.com.
NHL on 104.5 The Zone. That was a quicker break than I was ready for. I'm eating candy from Valentine's Day. Is that bad? Is that too old?
What's the candy like? If
it's Reese's.
Oh
Cups.
no, that's good for decades.
Okay.
It's like it's yeah, no, you're good.
Hey, Chris is in the building. Look at that.
Snuck in the building.
Yes. That's Ron's significant other.
That was real professional of you.
Okay. That's Ron's better half. That's what I wanted to say.
Did you tell everybody I hit my head, Babs?
No, y'all. During the break,
it was the thunder.
I wasn't watching. Slay's throwing something away in the trash can. It's behind, like, I'm looking towards Hunk, and just to give you a visual on the radio. So I'm looking towards the glass. Behind me is the trash can that Slay always misses when he tries to shoot into. But all of a sudden I hear this, like, bam. And I look over, I'm like, what was that? Was that your head?
Yeah.
He nailed his head. We have
Sure
an
did.
Eric Berry jersey framed in the corner. Eric Berry Tennessee jersey framed in the corner.
Real
And
boss.
it's like one of those really thick shadow box frames for the jersey. He nailed his
He
head.
got me right on the crown. If it would have been the corner, though, I would have been bleeding.
No, if it was the corner, you would have been at the hospital having to get stitches.
Yeah,
It was that loud.
Yeah, it might have a little knot coming soon.
Like when he walked away, I was like, are you okay? Are you
Yeah.
alive? Do you have a concussion? That was the hardest hit I think I've ever heard.
Yeah.
If I would be able to put you in a concussion protocol, I don't know the test to give you.
I think you got to flash the light in my eyes.
And watch your pupils, see if they dilate or
Yeah.
not.
And like,
So,
here's the
yeah.
finger.
You got to follow him without moving
I'm
your head.
telling you, he has a concussion. It was the loud. I'm surprised the damn thing is still on the wall.
See, so just get your hand on the dump button. Ain't no anything I say, it ain't my fault.
Oh,
don't do this to me.
Oh, that's a good excuse.
calm down,
right
Pac-Man.
there.
Be ready. You got to be ready.
Hey,
Calm
lucky
down.
for you, we only have about 2 or 3 minutes.
Yep, we can
left
make
on
it
this
through.
show,
Trust me, I
so-
just put in enough stuff for the after party. We could go there now.
Yeah,
I mean, so
right now.
don't test me.
Hey,
I will
just
cut
saying.
you off.
Yes.
Yes.
Somebody said a head like that ought to ache. Ha 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 ha. Zach
Aw.
Bunch. Nah, guess what, man? I'm hard head. Soft butt. That's what it makes. That's what they said.
SAWFT,
That's right, huh? Thank you.
Hey, Ben's on the line.
Oh.
Do I want to go to Ben?
Yes.
Oh, we at Ben.
Okay.
now. What up, Ben?
Hey, Ben in the
Hey,
borough.
yeah, I mean, you have no choice now, Don.
I know. Hunk gave me no choice.
That's it. Next year when you go to Ramon's Fireworks, here's a little tip for baby Babs and the sparkler. So you take a red Solo cup and you poke a little hole in it. We did this for both my girls. And you stick the sparkler stick in the hole where the fire's on the outside, and then they can put their little hand inside the Solo cup and hold the stick, and it keeps the sparks from hitting their little hand.
What a
Tip for you
great
for next year.
idea. Thank you, Ben.
Ben, you're
got it,
you're a dad. That's what I'm talking about. Us dads, we
A dad of
geniuses.
2 little girls. That's,
See?
that's
Yeah,
a dad of 2 little girls.
That's the
So
key.
there you
He's a
go.
dad to 2 little girls, because if it was
Yep.
2 boys, he'd just be like, just hand the sparkler to them. They're good.
We
Because
get-
that's what I would have done.
We deserve more credit. That's why when Father's Day roll around, Ben, you make sure you're going up that mountain with me, baby.
That's right, baby. You know it. I commented on your Facebook post, and thank you for leading us up that mountain.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Y'all have a great day.
Hey, have a good one, man. Hey, man, the man just telling you know, hey, when we get the opportunity to speak, man, hey, some great things come out.
That is great advice.
See, that's what'll happen when I'm at home, when it's just me and my son, and my wife will go, "Oh, that's a good idea," and I'm like, "I have a lot of them.
Yeah,
You just don't ever give me credit or
Give me a
listen to them
chance.
when I have it."
Give me a chance.
You better watch yourself, Hunk.
Yes, you had to go home alone.
It's true. By the way, since we're on this, and I don't really get to talk to you guys, would it be a bad parenting if I take my son to Thor: Love and Thunder this weekend, since we're all on Thunder and Lightning stuff today?
No, I think
It's PG-13.
No, it's gonna be good.
No, he's what, 3?
Yeah, but he's gonna
No,
be 4
I
in
think that's cool.
October.
I think that's cool.
But he's seen the other
Slay.
ones.
It ain't good.
He's seen the other Thor movies, though. He's seen Ragnarok. We just watched that.
Yeah, he ain't doing nothing in it, is it?
No, it's a Marvel Disney movie.
Yeah,
Like
we
that,
went
I
there.
mean,
Yeah, man. Come on, it's time to get Ollie in the Marvel world.
PG-13.
Because it might be language, because some of the Guardians of the Galaxy are in it too,
Yeah.
and they languages.
Yeah. See,
They got different language.
But I need to know this because I'm trying to take him. My wife is not letting me. She says, no, it's not a good idea. But now he's my movie-going buddy. I want to see it. Why can't he go?
I'm rolling with it. But don't let me get you in trouble either, though.
I mean, I'm not going to criticize how anybody else wants to parent. I'll just judge you quietly over here.
How's our girl feeling? How baby Babs feeling?
She's good. She's good. No broken bones. X-ray came back negative, which is good.
Soldier.
Yes.
Got a little soldier.
The process of the X-ray, not so much.
It's a little bit different.
The the very sweet lady trying to get the beautiful picture of her hand to make sure she was okay. If you missed it yesterday, she got her hand closed in a door.
Mm-hmm.
She said, is there any way we can maybe like lay it flat? Travis is like, nope.
No.
And Hadley was like, no.
That's what I'm talking about, baby Babs. We will not conform.
There you go. We have survived and advanced on our first door closing.
Guess what, Babsy?
We've survived and advanced without the mayor.
Battling, man. We battle tested. We go in any war and we get the job done.
Like it. He'll be back tomorrow.
Yes, he will.
Tune in.
You know what it is, people? It's the motto. God bless you. Be safe.
See ya.